What's going on, folks? Hope you guys are all doing well. Folks and Folkadaramas that are out there, hope you guys are all doing well. Hope you guys are all in good health. Gonna take some time right now and wait to see if YouTube is gonna notify you guys that I am in here and I am live and all that good stuff like that. And then we're gonna get into it. So again, welcome to the channel. I'm Ty Smith. You're watching my channel, Modern Renaissance Man. And if you are someone that's been watching my channel as of late, do me a favor, double check to make sure, and I always say this, and I know y'all get tired of it, but seriously, double check to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, okay? And if you are subscribed to the channel, let's see if you have that bell notification button pressed, right? And make sure the bell notification is set to all right? Appreciate that very much if you would do that. And also, I tell people all the time throughout the day, make sure you just leave my tab up there and refresh it like every now and then. If when you come by your computer, you're going to your daily, activities of daily living to see if I am live or if I've posted something, because I know they're not notifying you guys. All right. So again, appreciate you guys all being here. All right. So what I want to do here is I want you guys to listen to something real quick about this movie. Okay. Now, this movie is called The Woman King. It stars Viola Davis. Let me just get this on out the way, because you're going to have people coming here. Oh, man, here you go. Let me get this out the way. Viola Davis, however you say her name, she is a phenomenal actress. She is. I mean, she's one of those few actresses that when she cries, snot comes down. She's one of those actresses like that. She is very talented. She is very good at what she do. She's definitely going to be iconic and known for her acting skills. I mean, she is phenomenal. Okay. I'm not taking away from that. I've watched some of the backstories to all this. I watched some of the things she had to go through, how she prepared for this role, et cetera, et cetera. She did a phenomenal job as an actress in here. Not taking away from that at all. But that's not what we're here to talk about. What I do want you to pay attention to, and something that I do disagree with her on, is what I'm getting ready to show you. Now, what I'm getting ready to show you guys, if you guys cannot hear this, please, please, please let me know. Okay? So pay attention to this right here real quick.
It's be a moment if people don't come see the movie. Hey. It will just be a moment if people don't come see the movie.
Hey. You heard?
Okay?
That's right.
Because you're sending a very clear message to a machine called Hollywood. A machine called Hollywood is interested in green. So if you don't come see it, then you're sending a message that black women cannot lead the box office globally. That you are supporting that narrative. And if you want to normalize it, come see it the same way you would, the same way you would Black Panther, Spider-Man. Iron Man, Spider-Man, or any other movie that doesn't have any of us in it, or one or two of us in it.
Now, I want to ask you guys a question. First of all, were you guys able to hear everything that she said? I need to ask that first. Were you guys able to hear everything that Miss Viola Davis said? I'm waiting on you guys to answer that question for me real quick. Just somebody, if one of my moderators are in here. Joanne, welcome, sis. I hope you can hear me well. I want to know if anybody was able to hear this video that I just got done playing. Kathleen Abley, you said you wasn't able to hear it? Okay, so most of you guys are able to hear it. Okay, thank you all. Appreciate that. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to play this video back and I'm going to talk through it, okay? That's what I'm going to do. All right, so listen to this real quick. Pay attention.
It will just be a moment if people don't come see the movie.
Hey, you heard?
Okay?
That's right.
Because you're sending a very clear message to a machine called Hollywood. A machine called Hollywood is interested in green. So if you don't come see it, then you're sending a message that black women cannot lead the box office globally. That you are supporting that narrative. And if you want to normalize it, come see it the same way you would, the same way you would Black Panther,
Spider-Man.
Iron Man, Spider-Man, or any other movie that doesn't have any of us in it, or one or two of us in it.
Okay, now I'm going to talk through this again, okay? So we're going to go point by point. I played the whole video over because I wanted some of you guys to hear it, okay? So I'm going to play it again and listen to this.
It will just be a moment if people don't come see the movie.
Hey, heard?
Okay?
That's right.
Because you're sending a very clear message to a machine called Hollywood. A machine called Hollywood is interested in green. So if you don't come see it, then you're sending a message that black women cannot lead the box office globally.
Now, that's the part I want to talk about right there. That's the stuff that I disagree with right there. And like I told you, I already said all the great things I know about Viola Davis as an actress and all that, but as a businesswoman as well, I know that she probably need to say what she need to say to promote the movie to get you guys to come out and see it. But do not place any guilt on anyone that if you don't come and support the movie and watch the movie, you're saying that black women that are black should not be leading the box office. No, if the movie is sucky and it's trash, then the movie is just trash. It has nothing to do with, see what I'm saying? That's the sucky part. No matter this, what my wife has this thing, right? She has this thing where in the beginning, when Tyler Perry was first starting off, loved Tyler Perry. People couldn't wait to see this man get into Hollywood, start producing movies. And then once he did that, a lot of black people like, dude, he just giving us trash right now. But the point is, because he made a name for himself with his plays and all that, when he started getting into the movie business, don't get me wrong, some of Tyler Perry movies, I feel like, hey, they are pretty decent. Some of them are not. Like Diary of a Mad Black Woman, the movie, I like to play way better than I do the movie. I like to play way better than I do the movie. But what we're starting to see is that now Tyler Perry just pushing out stuff that's just is trash. It's complete trash. Oh, why you want to hate on Tyler Perry? That man used to be, man, I don't care what he used to be. It does not matter. That's not what he is right now. The point is, if you're making trashy stuff, don't try to blame it on the fact that it's because some black women are leading it or because black people are in it like that. No, that's not it. It's just if the movie is trash and it sucks, it's just trash and it sucks. It does not matter. You got Rotten Tomatoes putting out there like they gave this movie 100%. They gave this movie 100%. No way in the world, man. No way. What's going on, B-Man? Says, I really enjoy your content. Keep doing your thing. Smash that like button, people. That's right. Hit that like button for me. Appreciate that. Dorian, I'm sorry, says, by the way, Hollywood is corrupt and evil. Absolutely. Now, what I'm saying is this. Just because you don't like the movie and a lot of people are not liking this movie, it does not mean that we're sending a message saying that what black women cannot be leading the box office or anything like that. So let's get a little bit more into it too. I'm gonna show y'all something else that she said here.
That you are supporting that narrative. And if you want to normalize it, black women cannot lead the box office globally. That you are supporting that narrative.
What narrative is that? What narrative? If you don't go see this movie, what narrative is it that you are supporting? So if you don't go see The Woman King, you're supporting the narrative that says black women can't lead and do good in the movie. That's absolutely false. That's absolutely false. But again, I'm telling y'all right now, white people, stuff like this will guilt y'all into going to see the movie. Oh, I got to go and support them. You know, we don't support the black people enough. We don't. Let's go and see it. Even if it's not a good movie, let's go and see it. Yeah, y'all should go see the movie about a black woman army being wiped out by a bunch of white men. That's what y'all gonna go see it for that reason. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But no, seriously. I hope that this white guilt doesn't get pushed on you guys to the extent where y'all go, I'm gonna go see the movie. So, you know, because of, you know, I want to support the black people. I want to support the leading cast. I want to support this. No, if the movie sucks, the movie sucks. In fact, I don't know if y'all ever seen that movie that has some good plays, some heavy hitters in it. Matthew Broderick, Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, that movie Glory. When the people that fought, the blacks that fought in the war went pretty much to their massacre. Now, that right there, I get that. They had some actors in there, but there was no agenda in there. There was no woke agenda in there. And that's what leads me to my title right here. Now, I'm gonna let her finish this off. I'm gonna get into a little bit more. Check this out.
And if you want to normalize it, come see it the same way you would, you know, the same way you would Black Panther,
Spider-Man.
Iron Man, Spider-Man, or any other movie that doesn't have any of us in it, or one or two of us in it.
Now, you have a lot of young people that will listen to what she just said right here. Yeah, that show ain't no, we show black people show. Yeah, we in Black Panther. Yeah, we in that. That's because the movie Black Panther and the Marvel of Black Panther was written and portrayed just like it was. If you read the comic books, you will see Black Panther consisted of a black hero that's consisted of a women warriors that were actually in Black Panther Marvel. Now, when she said that about, oh, you will go see Spider-Man and other Marvel movies, that's because those are comic books. Those are comic books. It's made up. We all know that it's fake. We go there for the sheer fact that it's entertainment. It's actually fulfilling our childhood dream of seeing comic books that we used to read when we were children come to life. We know that there's nobody that can sit there and swing off of spider webs and all that. We know that there's no infinity stones and all that. We know that there's no juice you can drink in Africa to give you these super strength and powers to do what Black Panther did. We know that. But it's about the fan base. Marvel is fake. We know that. And we go there to see a fake movie so we can be entertained and have nostalgia from what we read in our comic books, our heroes. Now they get ready to mess things up with that with this. They get ready to make, Little Mermaid black now. What the heck? Little Mermaid black now. And that's actually going broke too. Got a million thumbs down. Why are you changing things up? You do not have to change what Marvel, and I hope Marvel, if you listen to me, I'm a huge fan of you, Marvel. I read y'all comic books since I was a kid. You just going to pay 10 cents to get the next comic book to read about what Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. I used to read these things. So now you want to go in there and flip things around all because you want to appease a small marginalized group of people that had nothing to do with those stories in the beginning. What am I saying that for? This particular story right here with these women, why would Viola Davis compare? You'll go and see Marvel. You can't compare that to this when this whole woman king story definitely has a woke agenda behind it. It has a false woman power behind it. Yes, it does. I know the movie. I know it does. But look here. This is what a lot of people don't know. Since they want to push this out there. Did you know that the Dahomey, that's what they were called, that tribe, the Dahomey, the reason why they grew so much and had economic expansion, you want to know why? Because they captured other tribes during their frontiers. They captured other Black people. And guess what they did with those Black people that they captured? Yeah, guess what the woman king tribe did with other Black people that they captured? They sold them into slavery to white people, Europeans to be exact. So while you want to go out there and push this movie and all this like that and get out there, oh, look, we got to support go out there and support a story about Black people who captured other Black people and sold those Black people to white people. Go out there and support this movie and get behind this because you want to see them lead the cast and tell a story of how a Black woman tribe captured other colonies and actually enslaved those people themselves. And you won't believe what they had, these enslaved people, these captors. Guess what they did with those enslaved people? Guess what the Dahomey tribe that Viola Davis is portraying? Guess what her tribe did with these Black people that they captured? They had them working on they enslaved them, but they had them working on plantations. Does that sound familiar? Does the word plantation sound familiar? Wait a minute. So, we thought we only heard about the word plantation here in America. Oh, we thought that, huh? Oh, we didn't know that there was plantations over there in Africa that these people were working on already. Oh, we didn't know that that's probably what inspired the Europeans that gave them the idea to go do that over in the Americas anyway, huh? Oh, we didn't know that almost half of all the slaves that were sold into slavery in the transatlantic slave trade went to Portuguese. Oh, but you don't see no Black, and we ain't gonna get into it. We don't see no Black Lives Matter people marching for them in Brazil, though, do we? We don't see that, do we? When more Africans went there than anywhere else, when America only got about almost 1% of all the slave trade that went on in the world, America got 1% pretty much, or a little more. But we being treated in America as if we the only ones that ever had slavery going on, when we had 1%, a little bit more 1%. But over half of them went straight to Portuguese. Anyway, let me digress from there. So, again, this tribe called the Dahomey, in which Viola Davis is portraying in, consisted of women who were trained, and they were trained really well. They were trained to fight. They were trained to try to put their emotions off. Why they got to train women to put their emotions off to the side? That's another thing we ain't gonna get into. But they were trained to try to harness the pain that they might feel when they getting themselves stabbed or beat or fighting, whatever like that, to try to ignore it through mental strategies, whatever like that. But this same tribe, again, they enslaved other people and pretty much did to those people what we say the white racist people did to Black people here. The same exact stuff. They beat them, they whipped them, and guess what? They even went a step beyond, though. I mean, I don't know if I haven't read about this in the Americas, but you know what? They even went a step beyond, ladies and gentlemen. The Dahomey tribe sacrificed those people because of the beliefs that they had, the religious belief system they had, false worshiping or whatever they believed in, they actually sacrificed black people unto these false gods or whoever it is that they believed in. I don't know what it was, but that's what they did. So, yes, black people, white people, let's all go out there and support this movie. Let's go support this movie that started the downfall of you white people becoming racist. That's what happened, because y'all bought the slaves from them and y'all brought them across the ocean and y'all put them out there and pretty much made them exactly what they were when they were over there. So what am I saying that for? A lot of people ignorantly go into here because you want to support somebody because they look like you and me, but you don't want to read the story about what that tribe really consisted of, do you? You don't want to read that story. So anyway, these women also, they fought in various wars. There was the first Franco-Dahomey War, and there was a second Franco-Dahomey War. Now, the first Franco-Dahomey War, and I'm going to read this, European encroachment into the West Africa gained pace during the latter half of the 19th century, and in 1890, the King Bahazin started fighting French forces in the course of the first Franco-Dahomey War. European observers noted that women handled admirably in hand-to-hand combat. They handled what they were saying is like, oh, we can't believe these women fighting. And I know the movie gonna have it out there like Viola Davis. It might have just been like they were like the Spartans from 300. They sitting there hitting these big old 200-pound grown men. These grown men flying back. They hitting these grown men legs. These men hitting front flips and all that. Come on now. You know the movie's going to portray that, but they said they handled admirably in hand-to-hand combat, but fired their flintlocks from their hip rather than from their shoulders. So what they're telling you is that these women, he said, they handled themselves admirably. I mean, I'm just saying, let's just say if I okay, I'm about to make some folks mad right here. Let's just say, for example, if I fought a midget and this midget sitting there hitting my legs, I'm like, I just say, whack, knock this midget out. I would say, hey, that midget, he handled himself admirably. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Some of y'all don't get what I'm saying. Do y'all, I mean, y'all get what I'm saying? If you like what I'm doing thus far, make sure you hit that like button right now so this video can be recommended, because there's going to be a lot of black folks that are going to be pissed off by the fact I'm bringing this truth to them, because they're going to say, there you go to 10. But then yet y'all the same ones that would turn around and say the reason why we are where we are right now is because these white people got systemic racism out there. Shoot, we've been enslaved for 400 years, but I'm telling you about a movie that you getting ready to go and see that sold you to those people so you could be enslaved for 400 years. Dumb folks do not know this. And I'm not calling everybody dumb because they're ignorant to the history of this. I'm talking about the ones that like to try to push a particular type of rhetoric. This stuff that I bring up right now, y'all don't want to hear about that. You don't want to hear about that. The minute you sit there and say, we've been enslaved for 400 years, well, you was going to be enslaved regardless of that, especially if the Dahomey tribe captured you. You was going to be enslaved anyway. Plain and simple. You would have been there right now today. And by the way, I wonder what some of the people who are in Africa right now that is still legal to have slavery that are in, they are descendants from people who some of our ancestors made across the Atlantic slave trade, but some of these people remain there and they are enslaved right now to this day. And you're not speaking about those slaves, are you? We are here for 400 years, but then you got ones in Africa right now who are descendants from those same folks that were enslaved, that got broken up by their families. Some went across the ocean, some remained there, and they are still enslaved over there right now. So yeah, you might have some distant cousins that's enslaved right now in Africa that are descendants of those people that were sold into slavery or captured into slavery by tribes such as the Dahomey tribe. But we ain't gonna go there though. Well, that's different because we used to black on black crime though. That's different. Well, I mean, hey, I'm just saying, if black people enslaving black people, that's cool. But the white people shouldn't have did that, though. That's what we mad at. We mad because the white people enslaved us. No. Do you not understand the terminology when they say you were sold into slavery? You were sold into it. You were traded for. A matter of fact, this Dahomey tribe right here, they sold you for guns. They sold you for tobacco. They sold you for various things. That was the way of war. Slave trade was nothing that was a surprise or nothing that was new during those times. It was a part of life, just like right now in some countries over there across the sea right now. Some countries, not just Africa, it's still legal to have some slave trading going on. Matter of fact, there are more people enslaved right now in our present modern time than it was during the time when a slave trade was going on like big business. There's more enslaved right now. Go research it. Don't believe me. Go and research it. Okay, so let me move on to something else here. It said that the kingdom of Dahomey, the king of Dahomey, became known for its intricate work, rooted in traditions as an all-women military unit known as the Dahomey Amazons. They named them the Amazons. Near the mid-1800s, the kingdom began to decline with pressure from Britain. Check this out. Check this out. I want y'all to pay close attention to this. Pay close attention to this. Near the mid-1800s, the kingdom began to decline with pressure from who? From Britain to do what? Stop slave trading. Hold on, time out. Time out. These black people, these Africans, our queens and our kings and our Nubian princes and princesses. Wait, they started to decline. Why? Because Britain all of a sudden wanted to stop slave trading. Wait, white people? White people? Now, look, we ain't gonna go down here. I know about us getting our independence from Britain and we whooped their butt and they wasn't gonna come over here. We ain't talking about that. We talking about once slavery and all that stuff, once all countries started pretty much following America's suit and other countries' suit about getting ready to end slave trade. You telling me that Britain sat there and put pressure on them and said, this not gonna be going on no more. We're getting ready to get rid of this slave trade stuff. And all of a sudden they started to decline. They got mad. During the time, King Gizo was in charge of the staunchly against ending this lucrative business, right? Now, spoiler alert here. It don't matter because this is history. The Amazons participated in one major battle called Contenu, or I might be saying it wrong, where thousands of Dahomey charged the French lines and engaged the defenders in hand-to-hand combat. The Amazons were decisively crushed. Y'all hear that? They were decisively crushed, with several hundred Dahomey troops being gunned down. Reportedly, 129 Dahomey were killed in melee combat with the French lines. Check this out. Again, let me say this for the people in the back. Whenever those women fought, and the French observer said the women handled admirably, it's the equivalence of me fighting a midget, and that midget shows great courage. He shows heart. He gave his all, but it was no contest for me to whoop this midget. I would say, hey, he fought with heart. He fought admirably, but there wasn't no battle for me. So check this out. It said there was no contest for these Frenchmen to whip these women in hand-to-hand combat. But they also said the Frenchmen also noted and said, but they fired their flintlocks from their hips rather than from their shoulders. So whoever trained these women with these guns didn't train them well. These women firing a rifle from down here at their hips instead of putting it up here and aiming, right? That was the first war that they lost easily. Oh, you might say, well, they had guns. That's because the Frenchmen had guns. Let's move on to the second part of the war. By the end of the Second Franco-Dahomey War, special units of the Amazons were being assigned specifically to target French officers. After several battles, the French prevailed in the Second Franco-Dahomey War and put an end to the independent Dahomeyan kingdom. French soldiers. I gotta slow down. French soldiers, particularly on the French Foreign Legion, were impressed by what? Listen. The French, they were impressed by what? The women's power, the women's strength, their yelling chant, how strong the women were, how powerful they were with beating men and fighting men. Is that what the French were impressed by with these women? No. You want to know what they say they were impressed by? They were impressed by the boldness of the Amazons and later wrote about their incredible courage and audacity. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to paint a picture for some of y'all. Deluxe, really, really appreciate the super chat right there. God bless you for that. God bless you for that, sir. Did y'all hear what I just said? The French men, they were impressed by what? They were impressed by the boldness of the Amazon women. And they wrote, hey, they had incredible courage and audacity. Again, I know y'all gonna be like, dude, we tired of hearing you talk about the midget. If I fought a midget, look, I'm 6'2 and a half, 6'3, pretty much give or take, depending on what shoes I'm wearing, 200 plus pounds. Okay. I'm not trying to say this to brag, 200 some plus pounds. I am 14% body fat. Okay. Trust me when I tell you. I mean, y'all can set it up if y'all want to. Y'all can put it on Showtime, HBO, whatever. No midget that you are going to find in this complete world, no midget is going to whoop me in battle. I don't care who you tie. Don't say that, because no, they can't. I will have fun beating up a midget. My point in saying all that is this. I would brag and say, hey, look at here. Let me tell y'all something about those midgets. You know, Ty is 1,000-0 in fighting midgets. But you know what? I'm going to make sure I'm going to write something in my history book right here to say, hey, those midgets, they fought with boldness and they fought with incredible courage and audacity. That ain't bragging saying how strong the midgets were or how they gave me some competition or oh, they really gave me a battle. That's not what it's saying. They just saying that they were impressed that these women even had the audacity to even try to go on the battlefield and battle them. Well, that was impressive that they actually tried to beat us. But it ain't saying that these women were super strong and like freaking She-Hulk and like y'all look at the Amazon Wonder Woman. Wonder where that came from? Amazon Wonder Woman. Now, it says this. Against a military unit with decidedly superior weaponry and a longer bayonet, however, the Dahomey Amazons could not prevail. During a battle with French soldiers at Adagon on October the 6th during the Second War, the bulk of the Amazon corps were wiped out in a matter of hours in hand-to-hand combat, with French engaged them with bayonet charge. That means they had like a knife, or, you know, it's pretty much like having a knife at the end of a gun. You can take the knife off and fight them. It does not matter. It says that the Dahomey were beat in hand-to-hand combat when they engaged the French men. And it says almost all the corpse in those deaths were inflicted by bayonets. In other words, the soldiers felt like, look, time out. Look, y'all need to listen to this. The French soldiers said, look, now we killed all these crazy women with our guns. These are women. Did we really need to use our guns like that? Bro, look, let me do it for a more modern man today that can understand it. For you that are in here right now, we're gonna say it from terminology y'all can understand, like as if it was today. Bruh. You know, them crazy women. I mean, I give it to them. You know, they had a little bit of boldness with them. I mean, they had the audacity to try to fight up against us. But bruh, don't y'all think that it's actually insufficient to actually shoot these women when we can just whoop them in hand-to-hand combat? I mean, I know that they've been trained and all that, but bro, dude, we can whoop these women with our knives. Yeah, pull out the Rambo knife, dude. Don't waste our artillery on these women. Why are we sitting there? Look, why would we waste our guns and our ammunition on these women when we can save it for maybe having to go in conquest against other men tribes? But these women, we wasting our bullets on these women, bro. Come on, hey, take that, dude. Take that here. Take that bayonet off the end of your gun, dude. Come on, man. Hey, bro, let's go out here and slice these women up. Okay, ladies, go out there, and they gave those women the business. I don't care how the movie make them look all, and they can do that all they want to. Them Frenchmen did not have any competition beating those women to death and slicing and dicing them up in that war. But like they said, hey, they fought with, they were impressive in the fact that they tried to fight us, but all those women, majority of them were killed, and their wounds that they died from were inflicted on them by bayonets. And guess what? Give or take, hey, we're not going to hate. You're going to have some people that's going to get hurt and injured. Man, out of that war, thousands of these women that came at them, take a guess at how many Frenchmen died. Y'all want to take a wild guess? Some of y'all might have already looked it up. Out of this war, thousands of these women that came to this French at this second war, guess how many Frenchmen died? Guess how many men died in that? I'll give y'all a little bit of time. While you guys take a guess at how many died, I'm gonna play this video for y'all again.
It will just be a moment if people don't come see the movie.
Hey, you heard?
Okay?
That's right.
Because you're sending a very clear message to a machine called Hollywood. A machine called Hollywood is interested in green. So if you don't come see it, then you're sending a message that black women cannot lead the box office globally. That you are supporting that narrative. And if you want to normalize it, come see it the same way you would, the same way you would Black Panther,
Spider-Man.
Iron Man, Spider-Man, or any other movie that doesn't have any of us in it, or one or two of us in it.
All right, so those of you who took a guess at it, the men that died out of that war, there were 6. The Frenchmen lost 6 men, while they lost thousands of women. So what am I saying? You cannot sit there and let certain movies try to put like a false narrative in your mind that women can do these things that you cannot do. You simply cannot do what those women are going to do in this movie if you go and see it. Now, like I said, for entertainment purposes, I get it. But don't put it out there like this is historically factual. Because they're going to have them in there whooping, but this ain't Black Panther like the movie. Got women in Black Panther too. I'll say it all over again, because Black Panther is meant to be entertainment. These people are meant to have superhero-like type strength. So the women that was in Wakanda Forever, they were extraordinarily talented, warriors, all that good stuff. I'm pretty sure they probably derived that from this story right here with these women of the Dahomey tribe. But that is something that is fake. We know it's fake. We know this. But what they're doing right here, ladies and gentlemen, they're putting it out there. And if you do not see that there is just a huge push to put it out there that women are going to be dominating in all aspects of life, that's what the whole goal is to get you to think that women can be just as strong as a man. No. That women can be just as all these different things as a man, when it is absolutely 100% not true. Now that I put that information out there and I flat out told you what this Dahomey tribe did to our brothers and sisters, depending on where you came from, what are black people going to be saying about that? What are they going to be saying about that? Because people are going to come out and watch this movie. Man, shoot, man, we black women, we always been strong. Shoot, we fought in wars. We were like the strongest women out there. We sure was. No, y'all was not. Y'all fought against some Frenchmen and got y'all butts wiped out. It wasn't even no competition. Stop. So this wokeness stuff is going to pretty much give you a false sense that you just got all this power. And you know what it's going to do? It's going to set you up for failure, because you're going to go out there and try to portray that as if you some strong woman and all this, and going to go into the world and going to get a slap in the face, metaphorically speaking. Because guess what? Don't go get y'all. Look, ladies, don't fall for this stuff like y'all got to do stuff twice as hard. I mean, they say that about black men right now. They say, oh man, we got to work 4 times as hard. Dude, what are you talking about? I didn't have to. What do you mean work 4 times? Do you know that when I was in the medical portion of my school, we started off with like 25 students, and by the time we got done, there was only like 11 of us, because most people couldn't make it through. And did you know that at that time when I was going through the medical portion of that program, I was the only black person in there? So that means white people fell out. They failed out of the program. That means some Hispanic people failed out of the program. What do you mean work twice as hard? Now, what happened to them? I didn't have to sit there and work 4 times as hard as everybody else. I mean, we all got the same chapter to read in the book. We all got the same test. We all took the same. We all got graded on the same grading system. What do you mean I had to work twice as hard? And then working your way up to be like, as me being a director, that came with the territory. You work in this field long enough, you get experience. You know how all aspects of business work when it comes to this field, and you try to promote yourself. You want to go higher. They'll let you know, well, hey, you might want, like, for instance, when I tried for director the first time, I had mentors that told me, hey, you know what? You're a really smart guy. You know your stuff. You're going to be coming to this thing. You're going to be really young, considering, your age and all that. But I tell you what, go back and work another year, and better yet, do two more years, Ty. Do 2 more years. Get a little bit more experience in nursing homes. Get a little bit more experience in assisted living, because Ty, you've done the hospital. You've done outpatient. You've done home care. You've done all these things, Ty. You're really good at it, but you don't have a lot of experience when it comes to nursing homes and assisted living. So go get more experience in that and then come back and talk to us. Guess what I did? I went and got more experience when it came to nursing home, when it came to assisted living. And guess what? I came back and I applied to be a director. And guess what happened? I became a director. I got to work twice as hard. They suppressing me. That's white supremacy right there. See, if I was a white dude, they would have let me in because of my dude. No, it was not. They want to put you in positions based off of your experience and the talent that you're going to bring. So what am I saying this for, ladies? It's proven. It's not that men make more money than y'all. It's just that we're willing to do the jobs that y'all are not willing to do. So when you say men make more men make more money than women, in what retrospect? What jobs are we talking about? Because I can tell you right now, when I got, especially my first degree in therapy, when I got out of school and started, guess what? Me and several other students, when we got out of school, they started us all off at $27 an hour. That was back in 2005, whatever. When we got out of school, they started all of us at that. We all went and worked for the same hospital group. They started every last one of us off at the same exact rate. Now, I'm not going to lie. After 6 months, this is me. And I'm going to tell you why. I went to my director and I told him, I said, hey, how often do you guys give raises? He said, come and sit down, Ty. He just kind of laughed. I'm like, he kind of laughed. He said, now, why are you asking me about a raise? You make a decent amount already. I said, well, all I'm saying is this. Let's just be honest. It's not to shut any women down. This is what I told my boss. I said, but I do notice this. The floors that I seem to be assigned to seem to be dealing with me having to lift heavier patients. He was like, yeah. So you know what? You caught on to that, didn't you? I said, yes, I did. And I said, that's not fair. If I have to go and be on the floors dealing with bariatric patients or morbidly obese patients, getting them up on their CPAPs and getting them up while they're on the trach, cleaning out their trach and all that, then I got to transfer them over to a chair. I'm using my strength. Now, I know that Lindsay can't do it. I know that Beth can't do it. I know that Nicole can't do it. I know they can. That's why you guys are assigning me to this floor. So all I'm saying, if I'm going to be doing all this lifting, doing all this extra work, I should be getting paid more. Would y'all want to know what happened? Guess what happened? I can talk about it now because it's over. I've been out of that field for a while. But guess what? Guess what happened? Guess who got a raise? I did. Now, would you be able to look at that and say, no, that's not fair? Because no, it is fair because I'm doing more work. I'm lifting these heavy patients that the women therapists cannot lift. So you darn right I should be getting paid more. I'm bringing my company more money. I'm bringing the hospital more money because I'm getting these morbidly obese patients up in their beds and I'm transferring them over. Would I happen to go and get a Hoyer, right? Would I happen to go and get 4 or 5 people? So therefore, yes, I should be getting paid more. Now, moving on to the second portion of this. You know why? And a lot of aspects why men are paid more than women? Because this is something that I learned check this out. Look, I'm giving some stuff away. Women, you guys tend to be more agreeable when it comes to your salary. I'm not lying. I'm just telling you, you guys seem to not negotiate. Now, especially when I was doing the therapy, I had a total over my whole career of when I was a treating clinician, I've maybe had 30 to 35 students altogether. That's a lot. I was getting 2 or 3 students a year. Right? What I would tell my students, I said, when you go for the job, they're going to offer you a certain amount of money. You can turn that down or you can negotiate it. Are they going to ask me to negotiate? No, they're not going to say that. They're going to tell you, okay, so we do like you. You did a great job at the interview. This position right here, it starts off at $25 an hour. You can flat out say, well, can we at least try to shoot for $26.50 or something between the two? But most women won't do that. Now, am I saying it because I'm saying something about women? Like y'all just know, I'm not saying nothing about y'all. I'm just saying I notice that y'all don't do that. Whenever I hire people on and I tell them, okay, this position pays this much. Most girls would just flat out be like, oh, okay. Some guys will flat out be like, hey, well, where I'm working at right now, I'm basically making that same thing, Ty. I mean, is there anything else y'all can do? Can we try for a quarter or 50 cents? And And I'll just say, hey, well, I'll talk to my higher uppers and all I can do is tell you what they say. I'll go back and talk with them and they'll tell me, hey, oh, you know what? Tell them we'll do 20, tell them we'll do 25, tell them we'll do 25.50 with the $500 sign-on bonus with the promise of working for us for a year. That's what negotiations are. But what I do find with that is that most women don't do that. If they, I'm just telling y'all the truth. The ones that my employees that are female, they would tell me that it was like I was so nervous. I thought that like if I said no or something like that, I thought that y'all would just like get rid of me or y'all just move on to the next person or anything. No, that's what it is. Most guys are just like they'll come in and just like, I want this much. If I can't get that much, I probably can make more going over to this other company. I'm just telling y'all that's how it is. And at the same time, if you look at certain data, men tend to work longer hours and they tend to work, the more high risk jobs than women. So that's what I hate when they do things like that. When they empower you women, try to tell you guys that men make more money than y'all. They don't train none of us, men and women. They don't train you to ask the questions, what job, what occupation, and if you compare the two, how many hours did that man work that year? How many hours did that woman work that year? Sometimes, hey, look, let's just be honest. There's all kinds of variables that come into play when they do that to you women. There's all kinds of variables that come into play as to why men would make more money. I don't see that many women plumbers. I don't see that many women masonry. I don't see that many women in construction. I don't see that many women in factories. I don't see that many women welders. I don't see that. I hardly ever see that. And then I don't see that many women civil engineers. I don't see that many women out there holding jackhammers. I don't see that many women in that. So again, we have to ask the question whenever you say men make more money than women, what occupation are we talking about? And then I'll go even further than that. If you do put men and women in the same occupation, let's see how many hours that man worked versus how many hours that woman worked. And can we be honest? Did that woman happen to have a child? Did she happen to take off a maternity leave? Did she happen to take off because, I'm telling y'all from the medical field, this is what we're seeing in the medical field. Women are taking off more days off of work as well because of womanly things. You guys end up having things. Some women, when y'all have your period, when y'all have your menstrual cycle, some women have the most terrible cramps that they got to take off like the first 2 days. When they say, oh my God, my first 2 days, I'm bleeding heavy. And it's so bad that it breaks them down. Some of them got a cyst on their ovaries along with that. Some women got their tubes tied that makes their menstrual cycles even worse. So some of these women are taking off for that. You see what I'm saying? All these variables take place when it comes to things like that. But they want to empower you women to say, y'all not making as much money as men. Y'all not this and y'all not that. They are flat out lying. And all it's doing is to cause division again. The whole game plan and end game of everything that's being put in front of our face right now, the whole overall end game is to divide us off of class, divide us on race, divide us off of pay, divide us on occupation, divide us on who can go see a black movie, who can't see a black movie, like the dumb girl that sat there and said when Wakanda Forever come out, Black Panther 2, don't go and see it. Don't go and see it. They told white people, don't go and see Black Panther 2. Matter of fact, buy the tickets for black people to come there and y'all stand guard to make sure nobody's going to harm the black people. You know how stupid that was? Lena, and my thoughts with the $25 super chat. I appreciate that, sis. Thank you so much for doing that. God bless you for that. Now, I'm getting ready to open up. I'm getting ready to open up the panel so you guys can jump on board. And I do want to hear from you guys and see what your thoughts are on this. All right. So with that being said, I'm getting ready to post the link. Here is the link to join the chat. And I want to hear what you guys think. All right. There it is right there. And I'm going to pin it here in a second. There it is. So go ahead and click that link if you want to chime in and give your 2 cents on this whole notion, and then we can go from there. All right. Now, while you guys are doing that, I'm going to continue on with this. So that's what I'm saying. So what you have to understand is that it all depends on the job that you're doing when you're saying that the man is making more money than you. All those things are relative to whatever it is that you're doing, how many hours you've worked, how many days you might have taken off. Did you have to go and get your mammogram done? Did you have to go and see if you were pregnant? Did you have to take off a maternity leave? Did your baby get sick and you had to leave to go take care of the baby? I mean, all these things are variables that are very important to why some men in certain occupation make more money than women. Plain and simple. All right. So anyway, if this is one of the deals that if you don't look closely into it, you can be easily deceived. Like this movie right here. Same exact thing. If you don't look closely at the history of it, then you will be deceived. Did y'all know that when Black Panther came out, there were people who literally were out there thinking Chadwick Boseman, thanking him for what he did. Stavi Vanakerson, it says that your device is not connected. So it said you would need to connect your mic if you're in the green room right now, but you need to connect your mic. But people were out there saying things like, oh my God, what Black Panther did for the Black community. And even Chadwick had to come out and say, I didn't do nothing. I'm just an actor in the movie. I don't know what they're trying to say that I did that just made a huge impact on the Black community. You know what I mean? But that's what they're doing. They want to sell you this thing like, oh, we got to get out there and support it. I tell you right now, I have not seen one Tyler Perry movie in the theater. I did not see one Tyler Perry movie in the theater, and I had no plan on seeing it because everything changed completely. Let me see what you said right here, sis. Lacey said, I managed 24-hour stores. I had a child, and I worked more hours than anyone else in the company. I worked for days without even a break. I was still paid less than the men. Now, Lacey, you said you managed a 24-hour store, right? You had a child, and you worked more hours than anyone else in the company. I would need a little bit more clarification on everything that you did right there. If you're saying you still made less than the man, how would you, and I would like to know, how did you know that you made less than them? I mean, it's a lot, like I said, when I say variables, Lacey, and you know how I am with you, sis. And when you say variables, how long were those men there? You know what I mean? How long did they work there before you did? Whatever occupation that they did do, were they getting paid more than you did because the occupation that they did was more hazardous? Because I know of certain people that, okay, I'll give you an example. You think that the director, like in certain parts of where I go as a director, there are some treating therapists where I work at, they make more than me and I'm the director. Because they might have been there for 15, 20 years. They was under a certain type of contract where they was able to get certain raises. And then now where we at right now, a lot of companies are not giving raises. They're not giving you the merit raise, et cetera, et cetera. Joseph, I seen you in the background, sir, and you disappeared on me. Now, Lacey, when you say they got paid more than you, I would like to know how. You had to train men to be I know about things like that. I totally know about things like that. But again, Lacey, like I said, it's not to take away from you at all. I would have to know what exactly it is that all consisted of. If this person had more experience than you, I get that you worked a lot of hours, but then, like I said, there's a lot of variables that take place in there where these people more experienced. Did they have a degree? Did they have something? Because I don't know why, but some jobs do that. For instance, let me give you an example. There can be someone, okay, let's say, for instance, we can hire somebody what we consider to be a tech, right? We can have somebody that is a tech, and we can have him come out of high school. If we paid him $15 an hour coming out of high school as a tech, somebody else can come in and be a tech just like his. But if they have like their degree, a 2-year degree, some jobs just give people a little extra money just for having their degree, even though they're doing the same exact occupation, right? Now, at the same time, I can tell you this too. If I'm salaried, I can work more hours than everybody, and I'm only going to get the same pay. Some of my therapists, if they work an extra 3-4 some hours, they're going to get paid more than I do because they get paid hourly while I'm salaried. So like I said, there's a lot of variables in there. All right. What? Filipino white boy said, if anyone is looking for a good movie, a Western in this case, I recommend Corsicana. I've been dying for new Western films, and it looks great. Oh, okay. Now, Lacey, what do you say to this? Limited State said you weren't given it because you probably never asked for it. You accepted what you were offered from what it sounds like. Right. So I want you to respond to that. See what you have to say to that. If you do the same work, you should get the same pay. More pay for harder or dangerous work, though. Werthers, that's what I'm saying. That's what I meant by when I said, hey, as a treating clinician, I'm like, I'm lifting up all these bariatric people and these morbidly obese people. And I feel like I should be getting paid more than what Beth, Nicole, Sam, I feel like I should get paid more than them, and I did. What's going on, Roscoe? How you doing, sir? Lacey said they would have hired a man instead of me if I didn't work harder and more. Who gave you that notion? Lacey R, who told you that? Who said, look here, woman? You telling me, Lacey, somebody said to you, look here, woman, if you didn't work harder, I would hire a man in your place. Nicole Page said they would take advantage of you all if you don't speak up. I 100% agree with that. I 100% agree with that. Mama Don, you going to come on, Mama Don? We're not on the radio, sis. She said, sup. Mama Don, if you want to, I'll post the link right here again. Good to go, sir. All right, here you, Roscoe. You can come on if you want to, Roscoe, too. Click the link right there. I'm going to post the link right there. There's the link, but bam. Go ahead and join on in. Glad to hear it, Roscoe. Mama Don, we're talking about this movie that came out called The Woman King that falsely portrayed like these black women were just going around just easily defeating people. And it's matter of fact, Mama Don, if you are in, I see Lena, you in the background. It says that your device is not connected. You need to turn your mic on. Mama Don, I'm gonna play this clip for you. That a little bit of a woke agenda was being pushed for Hollywood. Check this out.
It will just be a moment if people don't come see the movie.
Hey,
Okay?
that's right.
Because you're sending a very clear message to a machine called Hollywood. A machine called Hollywood is interested in green. So if you don't come see it, then you're sending a message that black women cannot lead the box office globally. That you are supporting that narrative. And if you want to normalize it, come see it the same way you would, the same way you would Black Panther,
Spider-Man.
Iron Man, Spider-Man, or any other movie that doesn't have any of us in it, or one or two of us in it.
So you seen that right there. So we were talking about pretty much how in this movie, The Woman King, Viola Davis, she's a businesswoman. She's a phenomenal actor. I love her. I mean, she is a man. Viola Davis can pull you in. She has snot coming down her nose and all. Y'all didn't see her in The Help. You is kind. You is smart. No, let me stop. But yeah, so anyway, I know that she's a businesswoman, but I think right now she's slight of words. She threw in a little bit of the woke agenda in there to get people to go see it. And she's pretty much saying, if you don't go and see this movie, you're part of the narrative that's saying that black women should not be like leading in movies, et cetera, et cetera. Lacey R is in the house as well. So you definitely mention some of your stuff right here. So we got Lacey R in the house. We got Lena in the house. Lena,
Hi.
can you hear me? All
I
right.
can hear you.
How
Can
are
you hear
doing?
me?
Yes, Lacey.
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
All right. Lacey is in the house. I'm doing well. So, Lena, with
God.
everything that's been said thus far, what do you have to say about this so far?
Well, first, thank you for having me up, Renaissance Man. I think you're great. I just ran into you by Ryan's panel the other day, and I loved
Creek
it.
Squad. Creek Squad.
Yeah, I just part of the Creek Squad recently. I don't know Ryan's music or anything like that. I've just been following the Kylie case. So that's how I know you, and now I'm following you, and just got a notification that you were on and popped on, and loving what you're having to say. So I want to talk about, let me put my camera on. I don't like being the only person not on camera.
Oh, it's fine.
Okay, sorry.
There you are.
Hi. So I just wanted to talk about the women in pay. I totally agree with what you're saying. Yeah, I think it's ridiculous that women complain and bitch about not getting paid enough. They don't do what men do. We're not stronger than men. We're weaker than men. We're different than men. Yes, we need the same respect and the same kindness as men. We deserve that, but we're not equal to men. We're different. Men and women are different. We have different likes. We have different differences. We have different everything. We're not equal. We deserve the same respect, but we're not equal as men. Men and women are different. If women go to school as architects, they're going to get paid the same as men. If women go to school as bricklayers or trade school, they're going to get paid the same as men. So women need to just sit down and be quiet. So I'm a 22-year banker. I started off as a teller. I didn't go to school to become in the financial district. I just kind of fell into it because I need to move out of my house and work full time. I was going to school for childcare, and I didn't finish my education. So I started working. I was making $290 a week in the 90s. And I worked my way up. And 3 years ago, I stopped working, and now I'm a stay-at-home mom. And when I stopped working, I was making almost six figures with no education, and because I hustled and I worked my ass off.
Wait. You mean your white privilege didn't just boot you up there to become a banker? You what? You sure your white privilege didn't cause you to get that job?
No, I'm first generation here. My parents are from Italy. My parents didn't speak English. I'm first generation here. My mother's from Sicily and my father's from right outside of Salerno. My father couldn't go to school when he first got here at 8 years old. He had to sell newspapers in the North. I'm from Boston. He had to sell newspapers in the North End and shine shoes when he was 8 years old. So he couldn't go to school at first. So my white privilege doesn't come into play. My parents didn't have money to send me to school. I was going to community college in Charlestown, and I was paying my own way. So yeah, my white privilege doesn't come into play. I worked my ass off, and I didn't have kids until I was 36. So so I had my first kid at 36, and he has Down syndrome. And my kid's awesome. So don't say, oh, poor Lena. I wouldn't change my hair on my kids. And I knew when I was pregnant that he had Down syndrome. So, I just learned everything I could. And my kid's healthy as a horse. I wouldn't change him even if I could. And I had my second kid at 39. So my kids are the best. My kids are the air that I breathe. And I worked. My husband works. And I have an awesome life. I went through fucking a hard time before this shit happened, while all this shit was happening. But I learned from my mistakes. So women out there, stop bitching and stop working hard. All right? That's all I really wanted to say.
Well, Miss Lena, I appreciate you coming on and dropping those truth bombs on us, sis. I hope to hear back from you again and continue to watch.
All right. Well, I started this channel. I've had YouTube since 2012. Not to keep going, but I got it because when I was pregnant and I learned that my son had Down syndrome, I wanted to research Down syndrome. So I've had YouTube since 2012, but I kept getting kicked off of chats because everybody thinks I have a bad attitude because I agree with Church about Kylie Rodney and stuff, Kylie Rodney. So everybody thinks I'm a bitch and just kicks me out of chat rooms and ignores me. So I just started making my own videos, and now that's what I do now. And I'm not monetized or anything, so I'm just like, whatever. If you don't like me, you can suck it.
Right. Right. Well, you from Boston, so they should expect something like that to come out of y'all. But
I don't demand respect. I earn respect. If you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you.
And do you do you have a YouTube channel? Like
it's just called Lena and My Thoughts. That's it.
It's called Lena and My Thoughts.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, you heard that. Her channel is called Lena and My Thoughts. If you want to go over there and check her out.
I'm not trying to promote it. No, I wasn't trying to promote my channel or anything like that.
This is just what I do. Anybody that has a channel that might come over here on the panel, I tell people to go over there and check them out anyway. So I know that's not what you're doing. I got you. Trust me, I got you. But I just I always encourage people to go check out.
I did talk about on one of my videos. So and I called you Method Man by accident because I was really impressed with you, and I like Method Man. I'm like, shoot. So don't be mad. I'm sorry.
I'm good. We all look alike, so no, I'm just
no, not because you look alike, just because I thought you were cool.
I know. I got you. Got to mix up modern Renaissance man, Method Man. I got you. It just rolled off the tongue, though. So, but no, anyway. I appreciate that. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a lot of ladies probably like, what in the world? But no, I like that, and I hope you do come back and see us again, though. So I'm gonna be looking forward to you.
I will definitely. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely, sis. You have a good one.
All right. Bye.
All right. Shout out to Miss Lena. You hear her thing is called channel is called Lena and My Thoughts. I'm gonna move on to Miss hey, where you go, Scarlett? Nobody told you can leave. I'm gonna go over to I see you here, Roscoe, and I see Lacey. So Lacey, go ahead and I know you got stuff you want to say to go ahead and throw in here because you see the people are making chats and all that. There's Scarlett. She's back. Miss Lacey.
Yeah, I wasn't forgot to watch the chats. Boy, she was just so wrong. I can't. It might be true where she was at. The work that I did in those convenience stores was both men's work, I think mostly. I mean, I had to move stock around. I'd carry 5 cases of beer or soda at a time. I worked 24 hours. I had to train the staff, clean the entire store, which is a gas station mini mart with a large store. And often, really, I went 3 days once without ever leaving the store. There aren't any men that would do that.
How is that legal?
It isn't, but they had me on salary. So, and they pay minimum wage to the cashiers.
Now, so what I want to say to that, Lace, is that was I was saying in the beginning when I said the reason why that can happen to them because women tend to be more agreeable. So you worked 3 days, you slept there is what you're saying. That is, you said you were there you said 24 hours for 3 days. I mean, if that means they did something illegal and probably look, don't take this the wrong way because it can happen to me too if I didn't know the law is what I'm getting at. If you did not know the law, from them to have you working that many hours and knew that it was legal, they preyed on your ignorance to that. Because there is no way. I mean, even in the hospital. Now, I'll give it a take. Now, in the hospital, though, especially you have like residency and things like that, they do tell us, hey, you guys can work 3/12s or you can work a 16. Now, you can't work a 24-hour shift, but in that 24-hour shift, we are what we call on standby. So we were allowed to sleep in these certain rooms in the hospital that were designated just for us to go in there and sleep instead of having to go home. But they could not do anything while we were in there sleeping. They just wanted us on standby, what they call on call. But to say you're working 24 hours straight through, that is illegal.
It is, Ty, but that's not the way it works. You're managing a store. I'm up here in the middle of nowhere, right? It's my store to take care of. The supervisor who manages a set of stores is down in Sacramento doing, I don't know what, nothing as far as I could ever figure. But so when shit happened at your store, you had to take care of it. That was just it. And what I started to say is they paid the cashiers minimum wage. I ended up training all the cashiers for all the other stores. They would just come and offer them 10 cents more an hour and I'd have no employees again. And this is the way it went all the time.
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm telling you right now, sis, law is king when it comes to things like that and human resources. The only reason why they got away with it with you because they've seen that you wasn't saying anything about it. If you just start asking questions to that guy, like, hey, wait, I've been here for this many hours. Hey, is anybody else supposed to come in here and do something? Hey, I cannot physically do this. Hey, that the law states that I cannot do these many hours. So we need to call human resources. You need to get somebody to come in and help and cover because I am not going to do this. But guess what? If you don't say nothing, they're going to be like, well, if she ain't saying nothing, we just going to say her.
Because they knew they would replace me. I knew they would replace me if I did.
I think that they
needed that job. No, the way that they get women is that women need a job. They've got kids, they've got responsibilities, and they can't just go from job to job. It takes a lot more work for a woman to get a job above minimum wage than it does for a man. Right. And I know that because I used to do construction. I've done every part of construction from the ground up on houses and then including cleaning them after the fact. So I was just a hard worker, period. But I did end up suing the store, but that's not helpful because I still needed a job. It's not like I'm going to sue them enough to live the rest of my life. So I went into another store, an even bigger store, and I was managing that store, and the same darn things happened. So I quit after a year and went to work for the government for less pay.
Now, what I would say to that, though, is also this is something that I do with a lot of people, like in your case, in your scenario. I tell them now it might be a weird thing for them, and I don't like to go religious on people, but I only say this because of my background. I say, you know what? The reason why that keeps happening to you, because God is trying to show you that there's a weakness in you that needs to be worked on, that it's going to keep happening until you actually address it. It's no different than the person that gets like bullied. And if they're being bullied, they don't say anything. They don't speak up or say nothing. So the bully will continue to bully them. Now they'll say, oh, well, they switched schools. Well, guess what? When I switched schools, I was being bullied by another person. It's going to keep on happening until you actually speak up and say something about it. But no matter what, I'm telling you right now, law is law. And there have been plenty. If you would have told me this while this is going on, like, let's just say if this is going on right now, I'm the type of person I would say, let me know where you work at right now. Let me know who your human resources is. I'm going to call in as if I was your nephew. I'm going to say, you guys have my aunt doing this and that. She is not going to say anything. But do y'all know that it's absolutely illegal for my aunt to be doing X, Y, and Z? And the guy that's over her supervisor is not saying anything. They continue to let her work. She's having all these issues going on, and y'all need to be paying her hospital bill because now she has medical. I would say I guarantee you.
And then she'd be fired.
No, because you're protected. You are a protected class when it comes to something like that. They cannot do it.
They can make your life miserable. I've been there, done that. Look,
see, like you said,
I knew the law.
No, what I'm saying though is that the only reason why is because it's being allowed, sis, and that's why even right now in the job force, you can't allow them to do that. So you can say, oh, like right now, the things that I do. If somebody say, oh man, Ty, if you come against that, they're gonna make your life a living hell. Oh, they can do what they want to, and everything they do, I'm writing it down, I'm documenting it down, and while they're talking to me, I'm saying, hey, look, I'm recording this conversation right now. They want you to think that. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people, they want you to be feared into thinking that, so you won't make any moves. Then it's like, oh, well, you know, she's a Jessica Feeney work. You know, she's probably low income, so what she's gonna do against? They want you to think that. I'm telling you,
that's because it's true. There's like women to get a job like what I had doing out in the middle of nowhere where they don't want to come. You know, I mean, I was 60 miles away from where the supervisors worked. They didn't want to come way the hell up here. So they needed somebody like me to work there, but they couldn't find a man. I took the job. It didn't pay enough for a man, but it paid way more than I could have made as a woman. You know, and it had all the benefits. It was the first job I ever had that had benefits. As a matter of fact, it was the only job that I had that had benefits. I never had time to take my vacation, so I always got my 2 weeks pay. I never had a weekend off for all the years that I worked. There just wasn't enough. I trained an assistant manager. The other stores would come take them. You know, it's cutthroat. And women, there's too many women out there that'll do the grunt work for nothing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is because they won't speak up and say nothing. And here's the thing. If you do speak up and say something, if the job, I'm telling you, because being a director, I know these things as I deal with human resources. If the job or anybody on your job starts to treat you in any type of way of retaliation, that is absolutely against the law. And they actually, lawyers salivate at that. That if you actually file a complaint with human resources on file and you have anybody acting towards you in a funny way, now that you've said something, that's called retaliation, and they do not want to go down that road because lawyers eat that stuff up all day long. So like I said, to me, I honestly, and it's nothing to say against you, I honestly feel like they preyed off of your ignorance in knowing the proper steps to take. They preyed off the fact that when you said, you know, I don't want them to do this, they want you to have that. They want you to be scared. They want you to feel like you're helpless, that you can't do anything. And then look, it calls you to move on to something else. And they're probably like, whoa, I'm glad she didn't go to human resources and say nothing and cause this and cause that.
There was no human resources. I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They preyed off of your ignorance when it came to that. That's what I'm saying.
I just don't think so, because I lived in a small town, and so I watched this happening. As a matter of fact, I knew the people. After I got fired, from the first place that I was a manager at for no reason. They were waiting for a chance to get rid of me to put a guy in there. Well, they discovered that it's really hard to find a man. I trained 3 of my own bosses while I was there. You know, the company that took over, I was working for a big company out of Oklahoma. Can't remember the freaking oil company's name now. But so the company was in another state.
But so this one thing is that every job has a human resources. So there's no way.
Not at my stores.
That is impossible. You got a human resources and a corporate. because human resources is there to actually take care of things like this, so they don't make it to corporate and don't make it into any type of court systems.
Here's something that happened. I'll
What's the
show
name
you
of this
how it
job? I'd
happened.
like to know the name of this job.
It's just a manager of a convenience store. I don't know what the store's called now. I don't even know if the same company owns it. But here's something, I had heard, there's these breaks that employees are supposed to get. I'd heard about those. And I'd been told that they don't work with shift work. What you're doing is shift work. You don't do breaks like that. Because what they've got going here is paying people minimum wage and they're working by themselves, right? You got one cashier to the store. Anyway, one of my employees decided to make a fuss about that. What the supervisor said is go fight it. So I had to go to the, whatever that is, the government, where you fight that kind of thing. God, I can't remember the names of these things. It's because I'm sick and I can't remember. But anyway, so I went down there and I just told them, I said, the company says this is shift work and we don't get those breaks. I think it was like 15, 20-minute break every 2 hours, right? Anyway, they said, well, you have to give it to them. And I said, there isn't time to give it to them. And they said, well, they can't have a break. See, most of the time you'd be busy for like 15 minutes out of the hour. So you'd have an hour to do whatever in the stores. They considered that a break. Well, the government didn't. So these people tell me I have to give all my employees a 15-minute break every 2 hours. So I tell my supervisor that, and he says, well, do it then. And I said, how the hell am I supposed to do that? He goes, well, that's your problem. It's your store. I had a maximum amount of work hours I could use. There weren't enough, except for me to have to come down there every 2 hours to give someone a break. So I tried to schedule my schedule around, but that girl that did that screwed up everybody, because what I had to do was cut everybody's hours and put them on part-time so that it worked out to where I was taking up their hours and everybody was mad. So that girl eventually quit. She knew it was her fault that everybody was pissed off, and then it went right back to the way it was so they could get full weeks.
Right. And do you know why? Okay, when you said you had to give them 15-minute breaks, do you know why you had to do that?
Yeah, because it's the law.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. It's the law. And unfortunately, in your case right now, I think that what might have happened to you, somebody came in, hey, we want to make you manager, blah, 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 blah. They trained you to be a manager and all that, and then they just dipped. They didn't tell you, hey, here's the handbook to this. Here's the handbook to human resources. Here's the handbook to corporate. Here's the handbook to like being able to call anonymously and not give your name if you want to make a complaint. But yeah, that's unfortunate for you, Lace. I'm gonna jump over to Miss Scarlett right here and get the Roscoe and see what they have to say on this. Then we're gonna all just kind of talk about this whole thing. Scarlett,
Yes.
how you doing?
Good. I'm trying to keep my thing from falling. My dogs keep walking past it.
I see. So, Miss Scarlett, what do you think about all of the things that we've been talking about thus far? Women in the workforce being taken advantage of. Then the clip I just played of Viola Davis. Trying to pretty much white guilt people into going to see a black movie. And if you don't, you're part of the narrative because you don't want to see black strong women being the lead role. Go ahead, country.
It could just be that we don't want to see a woman as a king being manly instead of womanly, because I do like that movie she's in where you're saying you is smart. What is that movie called?
The Help.
Oh, I love that movie. I mean, it could just be the movie. Sounds kind of dumb if you watch the trailer for it. It looks dumb. I don't think it has anything to do with it, whether she's black or white or whatever. It just the trailer looked dumb. I think women should be more feminine than that, if you ask me, my opinion. But as far as women in the workplace, I spent a lot of time in the apartment industry, and the women who worked in the apartment industry, they made more than the men who did the actual hard work. The maintenance guys, the women in the office made more than they did. You get paid by what you know. The more you know, the more you make.
And it seems like a lot of times the more you know, the more you make, the less actual work you actually do. Because I know as a director, I'm doing far less physical work as a director than I did when I was a treating clinician.
Yeah, exactly. When my husband, he started out as a maintenance guy. He worked his way up, and he works for a supplier of the apartments. He's a salesman, and he makes 5 times more than he did then. There goes the dog.
Your dog said stop lying.
Somebody's at the door.
That sucker going crazy.
Somebody's at the door. Someone's at the door. Have you ever seen?
Lord Jesus. Now, the lady that just came out of here, which I kind of want to draw some attention to, Lena, she made some a very important point that I think is really cool, is that she worked her way up through the bank and became a banker. And I think today, I might be wrong, but I think today you actually have to have a degree now in finance or something like that to be a banker.
No, actually, my sister-in-law works. She just got a job a couple years ago at a bank, and she had to work her way up as she started as a teller, and now she's a finance. She provides loans for cars and all that. And she
that's
has
nice.
Just a GED.
Nice. And worked there. See, that's what I'm saying. I didn't know about that. I thought that maybe, like, I know you see a lot of places where it's like to be into something like that, you have to get a degree in finance and something like that to go back and work and be a banker, et cetera, et cetera. But that's awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Like I said, if you get experience, like I said, you start off at the bottom and you work your way up. You know more, you work less, you make more, and you're not like my husband's here probably 75% of the time. He doesn't work that much. He goes out to measure an apartment or something, and then he comes back home and does the work from here. So I mean, I don't think it has much to do. It's women who are too lazy to go around and look for a job instead of just settling. Don't settle. I mean, look, apartment complexes is probably a really good place to start. First, you can start off as a leaser, and then you work yourself up to a supervisor, and you make a lot more money. I mean, supervisors at some apartment complexes make $80,000 to $100,000 a year.
That's what I'm talking about. That's awesome.
It's just not. It's not that women can't make as much money as a lot of times. Is what the job is. When we had an apartment complex and we hired a woman to do maintenance, she couldn't do as much. We had to have somebody help her all the time. She couldn't do it by herself. She couldn't take the refrigerators up the steps and all that. We had to have somebody come help her. So you have to know the job and what you're doing. Because like I said, if a woman's trying to do maintenance, she's going to have help. But if she's running an office, of course she can make more money. It's according to what the job is.
Right. All right. Good point there. Roscoe, how you doing, sir?
Go, Miss Scarlett. One tip, be careful with those dogs on camera. Like me and Ty saw the other night, they'll take you out. This one guy, he had a big gray dog, some runner, I think, and he was kicked back in his recliner or whatever.
Oh, man.
The dog started getting in his lap. Next thing, the dog's all the way up in his lap. Next thing you know, 2 feet's up in the air, and he's done over back. When he come up, he was actually bleeding from his nose.
Yeah, he cut him right here. Oh, man, that was some funny stuff right there, man. Oh, my God. That Uncle Tom got suplexed by his dog on camera. All you saw was him sitting there. The dog was on him. Next thing, all you saw was feet.
2 feet. That's it. And I'm like, oh my Lord, that was something else. As far as the subject today and all like that, number one, the movie. I hate political messages in movies. I really did. It kept me from watching a movie I really wanted to watch for a long time. And which one was that? The Black Panther. Why did I want to watch that movie? Because I was actually bought some of the first comic books that they come out with.
Right.
But everybody was taking saying, oh, that's what we could have been. Wakanda, this, that, the other. I'm like, it's made up. Come on. Even worse, it's made up by 2 white men. Stanley,
Exactly.
else, come on, let's quit making everything political. And this movie here, I've not seen, but judging by the way the lady's talking and all like that, number one, Hollywood is a machine. It's pumping out rhetoric and all like that. Now, is it going against black women in lead roles and all like that? Don't know. Don't really care because I don't watch that many movies. But they got to quit making them political. Just tell the story. Okay. I mean, I just want to see a good story, humorous, whatever. I mean, a little violence here and there. Yeah, let's go for it. It's just, I don't know, just getting sick of that. But anyway,
It's like,
as far as the quality of pay in the workplace, in my opinion, it should be what you know or what you are able to do, strength wise or whatnot. Whether it's a man or a woman, don't matter to me. If you can apply for it and do the job and do it successfully day after day without hurting yourself, go for it. If you can't but want to demand the same pay, I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that at all, because that's you're having to put out more effort for less money. There's a couple examples that I've had in my life. We had this one machine at Brunswick Defense and DeLand manufactured camouflage cloth, and they made all the positions on the machine's salary actually more management related, because you got paid by the hour, but you were considered salaried, management related, as it were. And you had the winder operators and the coat and head operators. They were on one pay scale. You had the assistant panel operator. He was on a different pay scale next to the highest pay. And then you had the panel operator, which he basically just sat at this panel all day and watched everything, while the assistant panel operator, who knew as much as he did, was supposed to walk around the machine, which is what I did, and look for stuff messing up, help avoid downtime and all like that. Well, this one guy quit or something like that, and the guy that they put in the position of panel operator did not know anything about the machine. The assistant panel operator at the time, he actually went nuts and quit because it was so it was so bad. I mean, he came from a different department, and he didn't know anything about it. So they bumped me up to assistant panel operator, and they didn't say nothing about me training him, but it did not take him long to ask me to train him. Don, what's this? Don, how do we do this, that, and the other? I said, sit back and watch me. And I'm just shaking my head and everything. The bad part about it is you get dumped on when you do that. Less than 6 months later, they put me in the mix room to cross-train me, and all like that. Knowledge base, interchange people here and there if they're out. And I was in there for about like 2 months. Well, when I got back out on the machine, he put me on the coating head, which is basically you sit up there and you take and watch compound get squirted on the belts and gets cured and makes the material. Well, I was up there 2 nights. I didn't say nothing. The second night, though, I asked him flat out. I said, why am I on the coating head? This is not where I'm supposed to be. And he took and said, well, I feel you need to be retrained on the machine. You've been out of here quite a while. I said, do what? 2 months? And I don't know what I'm doing? And I trained you? But we going to talk to somebody, because I tell you what needs to happen right now is I need to get knocked back to pay for a coating head operator instead of assistant panel operator. I said, okay, well, we can do that. I said, let's go in the damn office right now, because I was hot. And we went in there, and he called up the boss of the department, explained to him that I was in there, explained to him what he was doing. And then all of a sudden he said, but, yes, but, yes. Okay, Mike. Hung up. Then he told me, you're on the panel. Mike, the boss of the department, knew me very, very well, and he jumped that guy's hind end. big time, because he knowed me, he knew my skills, and I think he took it like me as an insult, you know, because like I said, I had trained the guy, and I hate to brag, but I hadn't lost no steps in what I knew about that machine, because I'd come out there several times, and your mic is muted, Ty. But anyways, like I say, I just took it as a grave insult. And I told him to go ahead and cut my pay. If you're going to make me sit up here and not do anything, that's what we'll have. And there's other incidents and all like that, but it's no gratitude in this world sometimes. None at all. And when some people do make it and all like that, they start to look down on you sometimes also, even though you helped them out. And that's something else I just don't want to see and all like that. That's why I'm kind of happy in what I do right now. I go to work, I fix stuff, I go back home. I don't really have that many personnel interactions with people or whatnot. The ones that I do have interactions with don't speak English. They're Mexicans, Hispanics, and but even though we don't speak the same language, we get along great because they understand the gist of what I'm saying to them normally, through hand signs and all like that. And a smile on my face don't never hurt either. But yeah, that's pretty much all my opinions on that. And like I say, I don't care if it's male or female. If you can do the work, God bless you.
Right. Do you guys think that, I'm just asking this. I know what my thoughts is on this. To me, I feel like whenever they are really, really pushing women to get into a certain type of occupations where it requires a lot of not just physical strain on them, but a lot of mental and emotional strain, from what I've experienced, what I've seen, and this is in multiple job settings, not just a medical setting, I see that it actually weighs like at least 10 times more heavier an effect on women than it do the men. Now, again, I said in high stress job situations where they have to deal with a lot of, let's just say what's the word I'm looking for? Like intra coworker type issues, dealing with the morale of the employees or dealing with certain issues. It seemed like it takes a way harsher toll on the woman overall, from not just her on the mental level, emotional level, but it also starts to affect her physically than it do the men. So Lacey R, for example, not trying to put you out there, sis, but
yeah, he is.
Just about guarantee you that a lot of things that you just got done telling me about, I'm just going to be straight up with you. A lot of men would not have put up with that. You know what I mean? They would not have put up with it. And then I also think that, again, I know this might come off as being wrong, but a lot of people know that the woman is looked at as being weaker. And people can say all day long, no, we're not, women are not. If you weren't weaker, then why do we men or anybody try to take advantage? They always want to take advantage of somebody that they feel is weaker. You know what I mean? They do that. Just like I always say, why is it you don't hear about women raping men? You hear about men raping women. Why? Because men look at a woman and say, I don't have to sit there and she can't put up a fight against me. I'm a big guy. What is this woman going to do to me? If she have a gun or something like that, I get that. But most likely the reason why say that again.
I agree that women are weaker, and that my body is all broken, I would do it different.
That's exactly what I'm getting at.
And now I'm all in pieces.
Right. So, I was going to say to what you said earlier, you said you worked twice as hard. And what I was going to say to that is that you work twice as hard as maybe a woman, but not twice as hard as a man, because what you might feel is twice as hard, a man might be like, that's nothing. Like my wife, I'm going to give you an example. My wife will say, you might need somebody to help you with that because it was real heavy for me. I'm like, that was heavy for you, but I'm sitting there carrying this thing with one arm. What are you talking about? Were you just trying to show off? No, I'm just stronger, babe. That's it. I was saying it to my wife all the time, so, but that's what I'm talking about is that I hate, I really do hate, I can just about guarantee from based off what you said that, that right there just wore you down. It tore you up because you went above and beyond for somebody that just looked at you as a number. And that's what I always tell people, whether you are a woman or man, you go to a job, you are a number to them. You will do all this extra overtime for these jobs. You do all this extra stuff for these jobs, and this job just looks at you as a number. Matter of fact, if you put in your 2 weeks notice, we already getting on the thing, getting ready to say who we getting ready to hire, give you a pen and a piece of cake or something like that, and say good riddance. But as all that extra stuff you did for that job is not going to repay you for it. So I tell people, don't give your life over to these occupations because it can ruin you.
I agree, but in my situation, it was just slightly different because I'm like I said, way out in nowhere. They can't just fill the jobs. They had to go. Hey, Ty, the company told me I had to hire a black person.
Well, that is something that's true, though. That's a law. That's something that's placed in law.
I know.
So,
and guess what? There weren't any. There aren't any here. I even looked for them, and I can't hire what doesn't exist, and I certainly can't hire what wouldn't come here.
Well, you live in Alaska or Antarctica? I mean,
I live in Northern California, and there just are not black people here. I don't know. They don't like the bugs and the animals or whatever.
That sounds like black people.
There used to be a black family up here a long time ago, and I was friends with them. But they just aren't here. So when that came out, my supervisors were on me to fill it with a black person. I finally found an East Indian. And he said, that doesn't count. I said, well, that's the closest I can come.
They said he mixed. His daddy black.
But, so I couldn't do that. But then they found a black man to be my supervisor. So I trained him. And at that time, all the managers were female. And they started bitching because he couldn't do the job. He just flat out couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. And so when he came to my store, I did it for him. Because he couldn't do it, and I was trying to help him. But anyway, the other managers found out about it and started yelling at me. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? He can't do it. And they're saying, well, let him crash then. And I said, well, if he goes, then I'm in trouble because I don't have a black person in my store. I mean, I had to deal with this is real life. So they quit yelling at me when I got a black supervisor. But then so I had to that's when the company came to me and made me cough up the fact that I was doing his work for him along with my own. And they said, why would you do that? And I said, well, it makes my life easier to do his work than to try and find a unicorn. And anyway, they fired him and they went right back to on my butt to hire a black person that didn't exist. As a matter of fact, to tell you, the last black people that I knew that lived in this town left because of my niece's boyfriend, and they sued the county and made them pay for them to move. Because they said that they had to move because it was all, what is that called?
Racist? No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly. Well, we had the town itself had to change all of its logos and cop cars.
Wait, whoa. No, hold on, time out. Wait a minute. What are these logos? Were they swastikas? Or what are we talking about?
They were Hangman's News.
What?
Wait
a minute. Hold on, time out. Wait a minute. They were what?
Hangman's News. And
y'all had that in y'all town?
There was a guy hanging on a pole outside the hangman's.
And you saying you can't find no black people in your...
Well,
no.
It's the history here. It's that came from the Old West. This was old Hangtown in the gold rush days. Didn't have anything to do with black people.
But hang them.
No.
I'm just playing. I'm messing with you.
So no, but what I'm saying is anything to do with that. But of course, we had to take all that off. But anyway,
I want to know what these other logos were.
That was it. The Hangman's Noose. It was
all the logos were Hangman's Noose.
Yeah. I never thought twice about it until they complained, and I was like, okay, well, I didn't deal with it. How would I know? I didn't know. But maybe that's what kept them away. And maybe the fact that this is called Old Hangtown has something to do with why there aren't any black people here. I didn't think of that. I didn't.
You didn't think of that until when?
Until they brought it up.
How long ago was this?
Quite a while ago. But there still aren't any black people up here.
Yeah, because they caught word.
Well, they were that last couple ran into my niece's boyfriend, who was a jackass. Oh, he was bad news, like a skinhead. Horrible guy. He had a pit bull. He got in a fight with some couple of black teenagers downtown, I guess, and he
Where
tried
the
to.
Hangman Noose thing was?
Well, no, they were up the street from there. But anyway, they went and got their dad, and their dad came down and got in a fight with him, with this jackass. And he tried to sick his dog on the guy, and the guy and his dog attacked him, which I thought was hilarious. But then the father of the black kids ran him over, and he got thrown in jail, and they sued the county because they had to move. And he was the only one charged with a crime, even though that man had come there purposely to fight with him, because of something he yelled at his kids. So anyway, now there aren't anybody left.
I bet it is, but I got a question to ask you. You don't want you if Lacey, I would have no problem. Trust me, I promise you, you would not hurt my feelings if you just say you would rather not disclose what I'm getting ready to ask you. What type of physical ailments are you dealing with? If there's some that you can just throw out there that may be like, just, you don't have to get real personal if there's some real personal, but from that job that you did all that time for those people taking advantage of you, what are some physical ailments that you're dealing with?
That was my body's broken. I have a bad back, and I mean, I can hardly walk now, and it's my whole body's broken. I had to have operations on both my shoulders for torn rotator cuffs, and I mean, I used my body. I thought I could do what men could do. I did, and I did do what men did, right up until I broke. And now I've got like other problems,
right, and that's
and stuff like that.
That's the reason why I kind of wanted to throw that out there, is because a lot of people don't realize that, and that's where I get at. And Mama Don, you can speak to this if you want to after I say this. That's why I always say that you were not designed to do it. There's these hypotheses that we used to do in school. You were not designed to do it, because if you were, you wouldn't have those effects. Now people say, well, no, because men get it. No, most of the men that we had came in and had rotator cuff surgeries. The reason why those men had it, they end up having because they've done something that was completely different from what a woman would, an injury, a fall. But never, hardly ever do we get men to come in here to say, I got a rotator cuff from overuse injury or something like that. It's always from something like they fell wrong or they grabbed something the wrong way and try to grab on and something tore. But then we do get women to come in there, and most of the women that I have come in there that have rotator cuff tears or issues like that, these women were farmer wives and they worked on a farm or they did some type of physical thing. Now you do get women on the occasional that would get a rotator cuff injury if they were baseball players or athletes, but rarely just your average woman who worked would come in rotator cuff issues unless she was those things that I just named. You worked doing some type of physical labor, you're trying to be a bricklayer or trying to do things like that, trying to carry heavy items all the time, and it wears down on you guys differently than it does a man.
Carrying housing bricks and tight walk roping with a bunch of bricks. That's what I used to do. But I also have a ripped muscle on my right leg that goes down to my knee. So there's a big hole there because
there's 4 of them that go down to your knee. So I mean, you got to.
Well, it goes down and wraps into the middle. But I have a great big indentation in my leg because what are they called? Those bone doctors.
Orthopedic.
Yeah, my orthopedic doctor looked at it. And he said, "Oh, you ripped and I can't remember the muscle." And he goes, "If you were an athlete or a man, I would go in and repair that, but you're just a woman, so you don't need it." Swear to God. So, and then I went to my chiropractor, and oh my God, he thought it was just, I don't know, sprained or something. And boy, he tore into that, and I about came unglued.
No, you got torn quad muscle, so it's 4 of them in there. So you tore one of the 4 that are in there.
Yeah, it leaves a big line, big empty spot in my leg.
Oh wow, Mama Don, Scarlett, what say you on that situation?
Is she
Mama
talking?
Don, you have to unmute yourself, Mama Don.
What were you talking about? I'm sorry.
Get out of my chat, girl. No, we're talking about like what happened there. I said that I think that ultimately for these people that are pushing this message to empower you women to pretty much go out there and do things just as much as a man can is setting you guys up to actually fail and to be harmed by it on a physical
I'm not
level.
pushing that at all.
Oh no. We talking about the current rhetoric out there right now that's out there in the world. Like they're really pushing women.
Feminists.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think they're insane. They know, honestly, if you took an average man, and probably what's that one fighter, what's her name? That everybody
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, took her, and just an average man, he would whoop her butt
Easily.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And I know you could probably find the weeniest looking man in the world and he'd whoop my butt, and I know it. You know, it's stupid. It's women who are delusional or just trying to act like they bad. Ain't bad.
No, and Mama Donna, I think you told me about you and your husband and having an apartment complex and everything like that. Did your husband expect you to do a lot of the physical work?
Yeah. In his dreams. He might have wanted me to, but it wasn't going to happen. I didn't, he'd say, come help me do something. And I'm like, well, what is it? And he'd say, oh, I'm going to move this. And I'd just start laughing at him because I wasn't going to do it. If it required me picking anything up or moving anything, unless it was a pillow, I wasn't going to do it. I don't pretend to be strong. I know I'm not. I know that my back will just go pop, and then it'll be like, I'm not going to be stuck in the bed for 6 weeks.
Yeah, because that's exactly something that can happen. So do you think that it's ultimately just to set you guys up? Not just, like I said, to me, I feel like it's setting you guys up to kind of pretty much be destroyed. I mean, like I said, because she's in here, so I got to pick on her. Lacey is like a prime example of that. Torn rotator cuffs, torn quads, surgeries, back is messed up, all from a convenience store.
My husband literally
forgot to mention my 2 broken legs.
Oh, her 2 broken legs
around the fridge, and he'd carry out up 3 flights of stairs, and I'd look at him like, honey, we do have those little things that's supposed to help you. And he says, I don't need it. I mean, he'd pick it right up, and he don't have any back problems. But he would have squashed me. I couldn't have done it. But he would just circle his arms around it and carry that thing straight up 3 flights of stairs with no problem. Women who sit there and talk about how women empowerment and all this garbage. The only thing a woman literally, I mean, I'm not trying to put my sex down, but our ability in our strength as far as muscles, but our strength as far as being strong to stand behind our husbands, take care of our children, and things that, I don't think a man could have a baby. I mean, not just because, they can't have a baby, but my husband gets a cold and you would think, he had some horrible disease, but a man is strong, but when they kind of get that baby mentality when they get a cold.
Lord Jesus.
And my husband ever had I have these little things that they stick on your back and it kind of shocks your back.
TENS unit.
Yeah. And if you turn it up real high, well, it kind of has the same effect as labor. And I tried putting it on my husband. He said, you're not doing it.
Wait a minute. Hold on now. Cause I got, hold on. I'm about to dig into this a little bit. So we do that in therapy. We put people on a TENS unit or we put them on electrical stimulation. And one of the most powerful settings we can put it on with the electrical stimulation is Russian. We call it the Russian. And what happened I'm going to explain something to some people. If you have a biceps injury or like a bicep weakness, what can happen, you might be incapable of raising your arm up like this, but we could put these pads on your arm and we put it on Russian and it will contract your biceps so hard you will be able to go like this.
Yeah.
We can actually put like a 5-pound weight in your hand and we can turn that Russian up so high it will cause your arm, your biceps to flex and raise it up. So if you telling me that having that thing up that high,
put it on your groin.
No, now hold on.
There's no need.
Mama Dawn, wait a minute. If I put that on my groin,
that is not what labor feels like. I've had those things on as high as they go, and no.
I just got that telling you that putting that thing on a bicep muscle will cause you to actually have a contraction. And you talking about putting it on a groin, on a man.
We were having such a nice conversation here.
She always ruin it, don't she? She always
Yeah. She's gonna bring up the bear cages next.
What are you talking? You won't even need Viagra. You won't even need Viagra no more. You talking about putting the dang on?
No, I put it on my son's stomach muscles.
Oh, you scared me.
He started crying. He's taking off.
Say, take your son away from you.
I had that thing on 5. It goes up to 10. I had it on 5, and he was already had tears coming out of his stomach.
Oh my God, Lord Jesus!
I mean, if you put it lower, I'm not talking about on. Right down there toward the bottom where you're underneath your stomach, down that area. Yeah, you put that thing on 10, you'll be like pooping and peeing all over yourself.
Bob, thanks for the super chat. Says men do get weenie when ill, and we have Bird Lady speaks in the house and Calderon in the house. Calderon, you came in first.
Calderon. What's up? Calderon from England.
Calderon. All right, what say you on this? Hey, sorry about you guys' loss over there. I think that's right?
Oh yeah. We've been mourning the Queen. Yeah, we've been mourning the Queen. Yeah. She passed away a few days ago. She was an icon of it. She was an icon. She was a little bit controversial in some issues, but we still love our Queen. Because she was the last royalty personality that was respected in the country. Yeah.
All right, sir. So you've been listening, I would assume, and I would like to hear your thoughts on all this.
The movie.
Go right ahead.
Oh, I'm not good. I was just listening to you guys. What I think about the movie? I think it's a little bit wokish, but interesting because it's based on the true events that happened in the past. I mean, that happened in Africa, in Benin. So they romanticize a little bit the events to make it more, relevant to what's going on in the world right now with all this woke movement and stuff. That's what I think. Yeah, they romanticize a little bit, but it can be very entertaining for the people to watch it. But what do I think? I haven't watched it yet, but because I know the true story behind all this, but I think it can. I don't really think much about it, to be honest. I don't know. I'm just
okay.
Yeah.
Now you say the history behind it, right? So I don't know. Did you see the video I played earlier with what Viola Davis said?
No, sir.
Okay, let me play it real quick for everybody to see. I'll play it right now. Give me a second here.
Go on.
It will just be a moment if people don't come see the movie.
Hey, you heard?
Okay?
That's right.
Because you're sending a very clear message to a machine called Hollywood. A machine called Hollywood is interested in green. So if you don't come see it, then you're sending a message that black women cannot lead the box office globally. That you are supporting that narrative. And if you want to normalize it, come see it the same way you would, the same way you would Black Panther, Spider-Man. Iron Man, Spider-Man, or any other movie that doesn't have any of us in it, or one or two of us in it.
Right. So that's my point right there.
Okay. So is it about the event that happened in the past, or is it about black women, publicity? I don't know.
See, exactly.
You understand? It looks like it's more about black women bashing up white men and men in general. It's not about the true event that happened in the past. If I make myself understood, right?
Yes. That's exactly what's going on. She, to me, I know that she's a businesswoman. I mentioned this earlier. She's a phenomenal actor. But the words that she just said right there, I think is all to be a part of this whole agenda about, like what she just said. If you don't, she said it now. What I don't like, she said, if you don't go and see it, you're part of the narrative that's saying that black women should not be leading box office. That's some manipulative type stuff right there to say.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to watch it now. Thank you very much.
Bird Lady speaks. What say you, sis?
I think that if your movie is good, some movies, like, they don't even need promotion. They're just that good. When someone goes to see those, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. When someone goes to see those movies, because they have the pre-screen, and some people just get those movies really early, and just word of mouth makes other people want to go see it when it comes out in the theater. So if you have confidence that your movie is that good, you shouldn't have to guilt people into seeing your movie. And I mean, one of my favorite movies is Forrest Gump. I mean, it's just a good movie. Everyone knows how good Forrest Gump is. It stands on its own 2 feet. So obviously you don't have the confidence that your movie can stand on its own 2 feet. And plus, I mean, I don't know if you talked about this earlier because I was kind of in and out. Is it going to be historically accurate? Which I know it's probably not going to be. Are you going to show how y'all enslaved, sacrificed, and rumor has it cannibalized other Black people? Is that going to be in the movie? I mean, I just feel like you shouldn't have to guilt someone into seeing your movie. And that's a lot of things that we do as a culture. We guilt people into doing what we want them to do instead of letting our work just stand for itself.
Right. And see, that's what I think that's one of the downfalls to it, is that I was saying to people, like, if they would have made this movie, historically accurate, I'd have been all for going to see it, because we all like the movie 300. Now I know that the movie 300 is pretty much like that's a story out of the Bible as well. But we know that 300 was going to be about those Spartans going in there. We all knew they were going to their death. And we knew we knew the mythology about the Spartans and all that, how they were this warrior race and what they were about and all this. But we also know that was fiction. That was not real. You know what I mean? We knew that was not real. But in this case, what you had is before the movie even came out, but when they first started showing the previews, there were people in the hood. There were people that said, these are prestigious Black people at NAACP things. Even though they know I talk bad about them, they still like to hand me out a reward for being like a great role model amongst Blacks. But they were, are you going to go see that movie Black King? Viola Davis is in it. That's going to be a powerful movie about our history. And I'm like, oh, it is. Oh, it is? No, it's not. No, it's not. Absolutely 100%. No, it's not. But what's also sad about it, to the ones that are listening, is that if you guys can go back and look up anything to do with the first Black Panther movie when they interviewed Black folks, it made me so like, oh my God, do Black people, y'all, I'm sorry, I'm being real. This made Black people look so ignorant and stupid. You had Black people out there saying Chadwick Boseman did so much for the Black community. He portrayed one of our most prestigious countries in Africa the way it should be portrayed. Wakanda don't exist. You like, what the heck? It's not even real. But people are out there, and then it got even worse. They start taking it to the streets with microphones. They going up to Black people. Okay, what do you think about the movie Black Panther? I love Black Panther. That is a good movie. I just want to say, Chad, thank him for what he did. He is doing great things for our people, because a lot of people don't even know about the country Wakanda in Africa. It's unheard of. It's like a dude sitting there looking like, I mean, people, they're going around asking all kinds of Black people, what do they feel about Wakanda? And then they were even
Mike went off.
Yeah. Your mic went off, Ty. We can't hear you.
Can't hear you. You unplugged it.
He got too excited.
He done headbutted.
Yeah, he muted it, I think.
hello.
There you are.
What was the last thing I said?
We don't know.
I know you hit something. It sounded like you hit something. I don't know. You went crazy there for a minute.
You were going off about Wakanda.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Well, y'all probably got the gist of it. It's pretty much when I was saying just how they were going around and asking Black people, what do you think about the country Wakanda? And they were saying like, oh, yeah, Wakanda needs to be recognized because, a lot of people don't know about it. And it's like, I was like, oh, my God, this is so bad because it doesn't even exist. So what I'm saying therefore overall, though, is that in this movie, you're going to have a lot of Black people that don't know their history about this Dahomey tribe. They're going to come out, and especially Black women, because a lot of Black women already were saying it. Mr. Ty, I mean, I don't understand. How come you hating on Black women? I mean, Black women were warriors and all that. They went around whooping all those white men. I mean, that's what I'm saying. When you said, Miss Ty, remember how you saying how women can't beat men? Well, these women of the Dahomey tribe, they was going around beating all them men. I'm like, oh my God. Like, this is what, trust me, mark my words, it's getting ready to happen where they're going to do this. As a matter of fact, I got my interview and stuff right here. When I go to the hood, I'm gonna do the same exact thing. Like y'all heard that movie with Viola Davis in it, right? With all those women. What do y'all think about that? And if they're gonna run like, oh, that was so cool because them black women, that's what we did. See, I told people black women have always been strong. Black women can fight just as hard as black men. They can whoop people too. It's gonna happen. So
yeah. That I wanted to say is people. Chadwick Boseman did do a lot. You know, he went to Howard and he gave scholarships away, but no one talked about that. No one highlighted that. It was always the fictional character that he played. And I saw the movie. I did because I used to read the comments. It got a little too, you know, but yes, you're absolutely right. Chadwick Boseman did make a lot of changes in the community, but it wasn't that character of the black. It was his, you know, word. It's not humanity.
Charity.
It's his charity. It was the scholarships that he gave to the, you know, help students graduate from his alma mater. You know, people of his color. So, but no one ever talks about that. They always just talk about this fictional place, and that's not what he's good for.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, I love him in 42. Jackie Robinson. I love him being Thurgood Marshall. But no one talks about those iconic roles that he played to tell stories. But I think that's
right. So okay, Lacey, I got a question for you. In today's world, I'm gonna go to Lacey, Roscoe, Miss Scarlett, and back to Bird Lady. Lacey, I got a question for you. Do you think that if we got 600 of our top athletic women and trained them to be warriors, do you think that those 600 women would be able to take out 200 men today?
Well, it would depend on, you know, where they are and, you know, in what way.
If we went to hand, let's just say we just made it even. If 300 women, let's say 600 in, if 600 women were to go against 200 men in hand-to-hand combat, fist only, would the women win?
Hell no. That's dumb.
So you don't think 600 women can whip 200 men?
No, because the men would just knock them down. Unless the men got tired by the time they reached the last line of women.
Okay, I just want to show. Okay, that's cool. Roscoe.
I say that though, but I used to fight men and win.
You used to fight men and win?
Yes, I did.
You was not fighting men. You were fighting trans.
No, they were big.
Those some big old girls.
There was something about me that made them afraid of me, I think is what it was. But yeah, I did. I fought some guy that was like 6'4". And, you know, I tried to break a beer bottle over that guy's head and it didn't break. And boy, did he hit me hard.
Yeah, I was going to say, Lacey, he wasn't trying. These men that you fought were not trying to hurt you.
Oh, well, he was.
Nah, stop, Lacey.
You don't think?
That's why your legs are broken and your back is broken and all that. It wasn't that job that man hit you and that just pretty much shattered your whole body. Is what?
No. I was strong. I was strong, but I'm small. He hit you. No, I didn't really get that. Just bounced my head. You know, he beat up.
You do know that everything is connected to the head, right? You know, the spine goes down your back and it goes out to everything else. So when he hit that,
young. That's when I was young. I used to protect the boys from the bullies and stuff like that, but I was an adult. It was more I could run them down just by walking up to them. I think it was they were looking for the gun because how could I walk up telling them I was going to kick their ass with nothing in my hands?
Mm-hmm.
You know, then again, my boyfriend was probably standing behind me, and he was a pretty big guy. It happened.
So you only got away with it because they were scared of your boyfriend.
Might be, but he wasn't always there.
But they knew who he was.
But you know, you're right that there are men, and then there are men. You know, so strong, able-bodied men. If women had to fight, you know, 200 strong and healthy men, as opposed to say the majority of, 600 women could probably wipe out all of law enforcement currently. Just roll them off.
Ooh.
Oh, they're so out of shape. But, you know, I think that comes because they had to lower the standards to let women get in the job.
Ooh, now you're talking.
Well,
Now you're
you know,
talking.
women make it damn dangerous. They're just an addition for those guys. But there is like one or two. There's always exceptions. But the majority of women can't do that job. They're not mentally ready to do that job or physically
Yeah.
capable.
Yeah. I've seen a video one time where a woman was trying to arrest a man, and he was just like, while she's trying to put his arm behind his back, he's just like, she's steady trying to grab him. He's just doing this and just moving her off and all this, you know, like it was nothing, you know. It just goes to show that that's true. Now, I mean, some things I know what our world is now today, but there's some occupations I'd rather not have women be in it just because of the fact that I know what damage can be done. I don't know if you guys ever seen the video where the police officer was trying to arrest this black guy. She was a female. He clocked her in the face. She fell down. He got on top of her, and I wanted to shoot the dude. I would like pulled her gun out of her and shot the dude. He sat there and beat that woman. He broke her face. That's what she had, multiple fractures in her face, and it almost killed her. You know, I just hate seeing things like that. And the reason why I say that is because if a man is willing to try to possibly challenge another man who might be equally stronger than he is, let alone a woman that a man is going to look at and be like, girl, please. And I know it makes people upset when I say this, but I say this all the time. When I see two women, I don't know what it is, guys. I don't Roscoe, you might have heard me say this before too. And I wish I had some other men in here that might think the same thing too. I don't know what it is that when I see two women together who are lesbian, if they both look very feminine, like women, and they're together, I look at them and just, But it's something about when I see one of the women and one of them trying to be real butch, I just get this feeling of, I will knock you out. Like, you stop. I don't know what it is. And I talk to other men in my church and my group. We all say the same thing. Like, yeah, I do the same thing. Like, I can see a woman with a man and I don't think anything of, but it's something about when I see a woman with another woman and she's butch and trying to be like this. Stop. Like, I just want to know if any women think the same way too, that if you see a dude, two men together, and one is very, Terry, you didn't say, I want my shoes. I mean, do y'all look at them and be like, girl, please, or I mean girl, but dude, please. I just wonder that, you know. So Roscoe, can 600 women take on 200 men?
Well, if the 600 women are crying and got long fingernails, there's going to be 199 guys against 600 because I'm hauling ass. I don't mean to curse, but I've seen women when they get mad, that's it. I mean, you take it to the bank. Take it to the bank, son. It's done. It's over with. And now you're talking about trained women that are most likely going to be mad when they come in at 600 of them against 200 barehanded. Guys ain't gonna stand a chance unless they're Navy SEALs or something like that, where they can jump in the water and swim away. No, I ain't
It's
want
like
no
trying
part
to
of
fight a cat.
Oh man!
And I'm being honest too. I don't want no part of fighting with a woman. Number one, I think it's wrong. But number two, I'll get my ass whooped because I ain't gonna fight back. I mean, I'll try to restrain it. Get them claws away from me, woman. You know,
yeah,
like
so you're gonna do them a favor by like saying, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'd rather get beat up than try to hurt you.
Yeah, and well, you know, that's a southern thing, I guess. But yeah, now they're gonna be 199 guys because I'm deserting them.
Forget, I ain't about to hear all this yelling and screaming.
They on their own.
Okay. All right. Bird lady. I'm sorry. What say you? Oh, Mama Don. I'm sorry, Mama Don.
So,
Scarlett. Can 600 women take on 200 men?
oh no, they aren't. Yeah, if they got guns, sure.
No, we said hand to hand, fist.
Oh, okay.
They got fingernails on them hands too.
I bite. You know, I like to bite.
They might like that. Keep on.
There you go.
I got some sharp, you know, corner teeth. What are they called? Incisors.
Mama Don, they're gonna be holding you up like this. She bites. Keep this one. Cage her. We might need her later. She bites.
Put her in the bear cage.
I don't think the women could. I think
Pull her teeth while you're at it.
a man hits a woman one time, she's going to go down if he really hits her. I mean, to be honest, if a man really, really hits a woman. Now, I'm not being, weird or anything, but I think black women are strong. They look stronger than most women I've seen who are white. Their arms are like real muscular.
That's inherited from slavery.
But they strong, and they probably,
I'm for real.
a bunch of black women could because they are strong. I've seen their arms, and they just look like, they work out, and a lot of them don't, and they still have them muscles. I don't have them muscle. I don't have a muscle in my body except in my mouth, maybe. I'm weak.
Mama Don, stop.
If it's a bunch of women like me, no. But I think if it's a bunch of black women with those big muscles, yeah, they could.
Well, that's what they were in this movie. And those white men wiped them out. Only 6 men died. Only 6 Frenchmen died. Beat those women easily. Within hours, it was over.
Well, I guess, but like I said, I've watched, I don't know if you've ever watched I Survived a Crime.
Oh my God, yes. I binged on that.
This man in the face, and you heard his face.
Like,
it sounded like it encaved. I'm like, oh my gosh. If a woman thinks she's man enough to hit a man with her fist in the face, then she deserves to get hit back.
I have witnessed that man punch crushing a face. That's disgusting. They are powerful.
That's crazy, though. I mean, this is a woman. I think it was a woman. She hit him in the face, and you heard his jawbone just snap. And I'm like, goodness gracious. He ought to just beat the crap out of her.
Yeah, he let it happen. That's what's crazy. Yeah, she clocked him.
Then I guess
it clocked them.
Beat men, unless they're wild, crazy, who bite and scratch and scream. And hey, my brothers used to leave me alone. I'd scream because I scream so loud. You want me to do it?
Oh no, I'm taking these earphones off.
No, Don, don't.
I have this scream. I should have been in the movies.
You do that, your dog gonna start going crazy too again.
I have this scream that's so loud, my brothers would leave me alone because they could not stand to hear me scream.
You sound like my son, Don. My son, when he was little, he could scream and stop you in your tracks. You just stand there and your eyes would start going sideways until he stopped, and by then he'd be across the room and running.
That's terrible. I'm sorry. I'm weird.
You see those horror movies where those women scream. Mine's way better. Mine's piercing.
I'm
dead.
I know what you're talking about, Don, because I heard my son used it as a weapon. If someone was chasing him and they were getting close, he would stop, turn around, and blast them. And it really would stop them in their tracks. If you can scream like that, let me know before you do so I can get that.
My brothers were all older than me and bigger than me. And when my brother thought he was Ric Flair. And he used to, try to do the elbow, or really, he would pick me up and try to slam me down on the ground. Well, I would scream this blood-curdling scream, and he'd just run. He'd leave. He'd like, God, he couldn't stand it. I mean, I had one of those make you cry screams.
Well,
I was a banshee in another life.
I hope that
I thought you were
however your other children were born, I hope you had them have somebody else babysit.
I didn't scream to my kids.
No, I ain't talking about that. I ain't talking about your kid. I'm talking about the process of making kids.
Oh my goodness. I just got that.
Your husband walking around going, what? What? Huh? You can't hear nothing no more. Wait, Mama Don, you did say your husband have hearing problems, though, didn't you?
No. No, I told you my husband's the one who thinks his sperm is magical.
It ain't got nothing to do with that biting and stuff.
No, it's the cure-all.
Oh Lord Jesus, lady, bird lady, can 600 women beat 200 men? Oh Lord.
Where'd he go?
He can't stop laughing. He's snorting and everything. He's laughing. And it's funny that you
He
didn't
embarrassed himself.
Ooh-wee.
light bulb come on. Finally, when I already knew what he was talking about. Babysit. Yeah, you had someone babysit your kid.
I didn't know what the heck he's talking. I used to in school blow in my ear and say I had a leak because I kind of.
Oh my God!
So
But
that's why I didn't get it.
Ooh.
For 600 women, well-trained women. The reason that I say that is because back in the day, I have beat some dudes back in the day. But it was only because my dad was in the military. He taught me, he boxed as well, and he did martial arts. I wasn't coordinated to catch the whole martial arts thing, so he taught me how to box. And one thing that he taught me is like one way when you're fighting as someone who's bigger than you, don't let them hit you. Don't let them hit you because once they hit you, you're done. So don't let them hit you. So I think women who have a smart strategy against these 200 men, I think they might be able to beat them. But it has to be strategy, and it has to be, it's kind of hard for women to work together. Have to work together, and it has to be a really good strategy, and I think that they'll be able to do it.
Okay. 600 women against 200 men. Think that so it's almost like it's a possible. Lacey said no. Mama Don said no. Roscoe said he's just gonna run away. Bird Lady said it could be done. Okay. Now, according to I'm sorry. I'm still Mama Don always have a way of messing up chats. I swear she does. Man.
Well,
and then it makes it so worse.
Brought in tactics. Now,
it makes it worse
tactical, they could.
Yeah, I was just talking about like if they was all just to be bare knuckle, you just took 600. I actually said athletic women and had them go off against 200 athletic men in a fist fight. Who's going to win? So I mean that would be something interesting to see. I wouldn't want that to happen because I think that would be a complete disaster. Now, if there was just athletic women against average Joe men, yeah, but athletic women against athletic men, I think that would just be terrible to watch. Entertaining. So why do you think, Lacey, why do you think they want to push women to actually do things that men do? If let's just say, for example, let's take out I think what we're missing out is the income thing. I don't want to even talk. Let's leave out the fact that they say men make more money than women for doing the same job. Okay. What is it that a woman is going to accomplish doing these particular type of jobs that men are doing more than what women are? What is it going to accomplish for the woman? And if the woman really even want to do that or even desire to do that?
I don't know. I was just, I did it because I thought I could, and maybe I got that from society around me as I was growing up. But now that I'm an adult, I think women are being really stupid. So I don't know who's behind that, because women lose out by this whole feminism thing. There are things women can do and do better than men. Why not do those? So this is wrong-minded to try and put women into actual men's jobs that they can't do without tearing themselves up. So I would say that's part of the divide and conquer.
Oh, good point. Roscoe.
I don't know. Again, if the woman's up to it, yeah, go for it. But if they're not, why push them into something that they're not qualified or physically able to do? Because it's just going to, hurt the woman physically if it's a physical job and she's got to pick up 50-pound boxes all day and stack them. That's not good. My wife did some of that work and all like that, and it was starting to tear her back up. And I said, "Look, honey, you got to quit that job right now. We'll just have to eat cornbread and grits or something." No, it's, you do what you can and all like that, but equal opportunity, and I hate to say this, but equal opportunity and affirmative action as far as employment and all like that, somewhat of a good thing, but it's a bad thing in others because it forces the employer to choose actual less qualified people.
That is a really, really, really good point right there. And I see this all over the job market.
This, I mean, making this point is going to upset some people, but it's a fact. Because I have seen many people get hired for a job they couldn't do. They couldn't be trained to do it. Were they dumb or whatever? Some of them actually were. Were they physically able to do the job? Sometimes no, but they were given the job anyways. And then their coworkers are kind of, forced into, covering for them because they had to maintain that percentage. Blacks, whites, well, no, excuse me, whites never come into it.
Nope.
Blacks, Latinos, whatever, women, and it's.
Puppies.
I think everybody should be given a chance, but if you can't do the job, find something else. There's other stuff out there. Land of opportunity and all like that. Granted, the opportunities are kind of slim the last year or so, but there's something out there if you want to go to work.
I agree totally with that. And we should never have lowered our standards in order to hire women, like in police. Lowering our standards has made our police force into big tubby fat men mostly. It's ridiculous. But if they can meet the standard, I think that's fine. But I don't think you should be forced ever to do that.
Well, again, that's what's happening a lot of times is the companies are forced into making a certain percentage of like upper management, Black, Latino, Asiatic, women, whatever. And they're going to wind up being a poorer company. And it seems like the government's trying to run them out of business by making them a poorer company because you don't have the qualified people. You got to hire people qualified to do the job. Otherwise, how are you going to make money? Now, everybody talks about taxing the corporations, taxing the rich people and all like it. They don't pay taxes. No. Let's get real here. Yep. Most of them provide a good or service that the lower income people buy. Like you and, everybody on this panel. Me, I'm extremely low income. But we're the ones paying the taxes, not the corporations. They pass that on. Now, they might have it on paper where they pay taxes, but I'm sorry, that money got charged to us.
Yep.
Every day of the week. And anybody who says different, I hate to say it, they're either fool or they're fooling themselves or they're just, I don't know. I get too insulted if I keep going any farther, but they're not thinking right. And there's so much not thinking right going on in the world right now that you can't have a decent conversation about it because they're right. Yes, I know what I'm doing. Yes, I'm going after that evil corporation. I'm going to take their money. I mean, just listen to some of our senators like Senator Warren, that woman from, where is it, Massachusetts or whatever. She's dumber than dirt.
Man.
Wants to take tax and wants to tax corporations. You know what I would do if I was to hit the lottery, Ty, and everybody here? What would y'all do if you hit the lottery? In one sentence.
Invest.
Okay.
Land.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'm gonna tell you what. Lots and lots of land.
Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay the taxes on it and just put it in an account and let it sit. That way I can piss the government off by not paying taxes the rest of my life because it's an income tax, right? I won't be paying no income tax the rest of my life because I'll just be drawing that money out and I'm like saying,
you'll be paying
tax. You'll be paying interest taxes.
They might try to find different ways to tax me on it, but a basic income tax, once I pay the tax on it, that's it. Like I say,
if you draw interest on it at all, you have to pay taxes on that.
I don't want to draw interest.
He said he just want to put in that basic account, checking account, no savings account. Don't want to draw no interest. Just let it sit.
Well, you'd have to win enough money for that, and then you could do that.
Yes, that's what I'm talking. I'm talking about, 100 million or so, something like that, some outrageous amount that I'll never see. But, that much. But yeah, let's go and pay the taxes on it. And I don't worry about taxes the rest of my life. I'll just file this paper that says 0 for income.
Cool.
That's why I believe in a flat tax. I mean, because, like I said, people don't understand. When you have a small business, you pay a lot more taxes than probably bigger corporations or bigger companies.
Of course, they can afford better lawyers.
Yeah, and they hide their money and they invest it and get out of it. But when we had owned this apartment complex for years, and our taxes were probably more than most people make in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to claim income. You're not just paying taxes for the company, but then you have to pay it on your income. So you're almost like double tax for the same thing.
So
stupid and ridiculous.
Okay, and so that leads me to you then, Mama Don. So do you think that they should hire people in job positions based off their color because they need to fill their quota?
No, you always want someone who's qualified. I remember when I was like 16 years old, they brought somebody in there, and I was 16. I was literally 16, and I was working a register, and I was telling this girl they hired her because they had to have a black person. They had to have at least one black person working there, and it was just working a register. And we were counting dimes, and she kept telling me she was coming up with $3.35. I said, "You're counting dimes." And she said, "I know." I said, "Well, you can't get 35 cents out of dimes. Is there a nickel in there?" And she said, "No, that's the dimes." And I kept trying to make her see you can't get 5 cents out of a dime. So,
I see Chaotic Truth is in the house here. I'll get to you too, sir. Thanks for coming in, dropping by. Bird Lady Speaks. Do you think they should hire women and or black people at specific jobs just based on that fact that they are a woman and or they are black?
Now you already know. No. Heck no. No, because some people just are there for a check, not to do a job. I've been on jobs when I worked, like in restaurants and things like that, because people were trying to meet a quota or felt like they had to hire this person, that person. It could even be a family member. My work was doubled because that person didn't want to show up when they were there. They didn't want to do anything. So no, not because of the color of the skin or because it's a woman. No, because of their qualifications. That's why they should. And some women should do some jobs. I don't care if they think that they can do what a man can do anyway. It's just some jobs just women can do.
Now, I'm gonna throw this in there before I get to Chaotic too. I'm just gonna throw a little thing out to you guys. As a director, it's sad, but like our company, they do have these sanctions in place. And I'm gonna just tell you what they said to me because the person that I'm with, that's over me, boss, a regional, he said to me, "Now, Ty, since I've known you for a long time, I just want you to know, I'm just flat. I can just talk bluntly with you like this is what he said." He was like, "Look, we have to somehow, shape, form, and fashion appeal to black people." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, as director, here, let me show you." He showed me his paper. Did you know that they have sanctions in certain jobs where you have to send out pamphlets and information to urban areas where black people are pretty much saturated in to try to get them to come and work for you? Because like right now, as a director, there is no black. There's black people in medicine, but there's not like black people in the therapy field and things like that. I'm saying that because they were like, "Yeah, we have to send, we have to recruit in heavily black areas because they're forcing us to try to have pretty much color in the area." So it's sad because now as a therapist, that's different. In the medical field, when you get your degree in therapy or in physician's assistants or anything like that, you're gonna definitely be pretty much qualified because you got your degree in it. But the fact that I found out that other jobs as well, whether it is like a grocery store, Home Depot, Lowe's, they are being told the same thing, that they have to appeal and they have to actually try to recruit black people because there's a law in place that they have to have so many working there, and they have to. Now, if they don't have any, like with us, if I don't, like this, what they did with us, since there is no black people that work under me, what I had to do it showed proof that I sent out at least 100 different type of recruitments, whether it was by telephone, whether it's through Indeed online, different job markets like that for people to search. I had to show proof that I sent out at least 100 of those to people that look just like me now. And then if I didn't hire anybody that was black, I had to show proof on file that I did try to reach out. If not, we can be fined for it. I was like, what? You know, so what I hated about that is that I know that in medicine, you can get hired on a job because when you get into medicine, the job is looking for you. You don't really have to look for a job. But for these other places, they're like, we have to do this every 6 months. And we have to show proof that we have it on file that we were trying to reach out to black communities to have them come work at Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart or any of these places. Because if we don't, they say they can get hit. And the minimum amount of the fine they can get hit with is $20,000 per offense. So if you don't show 100, you tell me you can get up to $20,000 per offense. That right there had me just like, now you talking about privilege. You talk about privilege. You telling me that they have it out there to where black folks can get it like that? Mama Don, what have you been putting your hands in? It smells like saliva. Chaotic Truth. How you doing, sir?
Sir, I am doing incredibly awesome.
Awesome.
On the
Bruh,
beautiful Tuesday.
I want to show you this video real quick. I'm pretty sure you heard about the woman king. I want.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. Actually, I saw the trailer already.
I want you to hear what Viola Davis said to try to recruit people to come and see it and tell me what you think about this. Check this out.
It will just be a moment if people don't come see the movie.
Hey, you heard?
Okay?
That's right.
Because you're sending a very clear message to a machine called Hollywood. A machine called Hollywood is interested in green. So if you don't come see it, then you're sending a message that black women cannot lead the box office globally. That you are supporting that narrative. And if you want to normalize it, come see it the same way you would, the same way you would Black Panther, Spider-Man. Iron Man, Spider-Man, or any other movie that doesn't have any of us in it, or one or two of us in it.
Sir, salute to you, salute to everyone on the panel. Viola Davis is incredibly either insane or she is thirsty to sell tickets at this point for her. Now, hear me out. The difference between white people and black people is that white people will make a movie about the Greek gods. They will make a movie about the Vikings. They will even make movies about the Roman Empire. And to a degree, a lot of it is fictional. And they understand that it is fiction. They understand that it is a superhero movie. It is absolutely appalling that this black woman, Viola Davis, is shaming people into going to see a movie and people, and there are people, MRM, that are talking about this movie as if this movie is nonfiction. These events never happened. And me as an older man, I don't respect this movie as a nonfiction. I don't respect this as a historical piece. Viola Davis, let the movie just be a movie, like the movies you named, like Black Panther, like Superman or Spider-Man. Let it be a fiction. You would be surprised the amount of fans you may attract if you present this as a fiction instead of a non-fictional movie that you're trying to pretend. You're trying to shame us, Viola Davis. And nobody's buying the Kool-Aid. Nobody's buying the Kool-Aid anymore. You're straying away white people from watching it at this point, and now you're straying away black people. I'm not going to lie to you. I know the story of these supposed women. Now, of course, the movie is going to over-exaggerate it, but I actually know the historical account. But don't pretend like this movie is a movie that is based in fact. And again, don't shame me. Don't do that, Viola Davis. And don't shame Hollywood. Don't shame the very institution that has allowed you to become wealthy.
Uh-oh.
Don't shame the very institution, despite the way you look, because you're not hot. You're not hot at all. But don't shame the very institution that's made you wealthy, ma'am, because you're not wealthy in the Nigerian film industry. How come the Nigerians didn't hire you? How come there's no Nigerian directors hiring you? So the fact of the matter is that I may watch this movie, and it probably is good. It looks good, but I'm gonna watch it as if I'm watching Superman, as if I'm watching any Marvel movie. I'm gonna watch this from the perspective of a consumer watching a science fiction, a consumer watching a hero fiction movie. Let it be that, Viola. Stop with this woke nonsense. Stop with this, if you don't watch this movie, you ain't black nonsense. Let's stop this.
Ooh, good point.
Let's stop this. Please, let's stop it. Because what's going to happen is that you're going to make people not like the movie, even if they see it, because they don't like you. Make people like you, Viola Davis. You're not an attractive woman. You're old. Make people like you. Stop forcing people to like you and what you do. It is not just her. It's a lot of people in Hollywood that do this nonsense. So I am interested in watching this movie. I'm interested in seeing it. I won't go to the movie theaters to watch it at all. I mean, I only go for science fiction. But the fact of the matter is that I am so tired of these woke actresses, these woke actors. I'm absolutely tired of these people at this point. Make me fall in love with the character. Make me fall in love with the set and setting. Don't make me fall in love with your woke little message. And on that note, salute to you guys. I digress for the moment. Go ahead.
Good point right there. I mean, everything you said was straight on point, man. I just said it earlier. I said, that's a sales movement. And like you just said, it's a good point that's a really good point that you made right there. When you said, if you don't go see this movie, then you ain't black. And then almost, yeah, because that's pretty much what she was saying. Like, if you don't go and see, she said, if you don't go and see this movie, then you're pretty much saying that black women should not be leading the box office.
Exactly.
I mean, to me, that instantly just make me just like, all right, bye. I don't even want to go and see the movie now, because I actually, like you, I knew the history of it and everything, and then to actually see it. I mean, if y'all going to see it, I'm not going to give nothing away, but if you're going to see it, you're going to be like, come on. I mean, that's what I'm saying. But what I don't like is that, I mean, a lot of people may disagree with this. What I don't like is that they would prey off of a lot of people who are ignorant to that history. And they will show this movie in a way where people will come out thinking that these women really was these crazy, ridiculously strong, like bohemians of women just giving it to men like they did in this movie. And that's the part that's going to have me like, okay, y'all, because people are going to come. I already had people arguing with me saying, no, the women back then, they was stronger. See, them women back in Africa, they were stronger than they was right now. Because, I mean, that's what I'm like, stop.
Mariam, I would like to comment after you say that. I apologize for cutting you off.
Oh, you good. And I was just like, y'all, stop. And then when I told them the history, I said, those men pretty much said, now, look, I had to say it in a way that people can understand it today. They said, okay, we ain't about to waste these. We ain't about to sit there and waste none of our bullets on these girls, these black girls. We ain't about to waste no more of our bullets on these black girls. Look, take our knives off the end of our guns right here, and let's go hand it to these. We wasted our ammunition on these chicks and wiped them out in a matter of hours, and only 6 Frenchmen died.
Yeah.
You can go ahead.
MRM, me being a scholar of African studies, particularly, I have a baccalaureate degree in many fields, and one of them is African studies. I studied under people, I don't know if you guys know who this is, but I am a student of the tree of Molefi Asante. Many of my professors were students of his back in the 70s, and I am a part of that tree. I wrote papers about this. I did speaking engagements about this, and I've been chased out of classrooms about this. People act as if people back in the day had special powers. People act as if human beings were different 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago. Women have always been women and men have always been men. I don't know any women now, any women that can bench press on average 225 pounds. I don't know any woman now that is capable of the physical feats of men. Now, you do have women now who are training and have trained to do certain things, but that is an outlier. These women have dedicated their lives to
Yes.
bodybuilding. I will admit that. But even on the same par as a man, they are still inferior physically. And I don't mean inferior in a bad way. The tragedy of what these movies do, my good sir, and to the panel, is it gives a false sense of entitlement and a false reality to many women. You see, a movie like this is presented as nonfiction, especially to Black women. This movie has this theme of you go girl or Black girl magic theme to it. Now, is there anything wrong with this movie per se? Again, no. I think it's a great fiction movie. But you're gonna have a lot of Black women, Black girls believe that they can flip in the air, do triple backflips, and tomahawk dunk on men. And what's going to happen is that you're going to have a lot of women that are going to be beat into the ground because they think that they are strong like a man. Now, it's nothing wrong with wanting to be strong. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be a man. I mean, wanting to be a strong, independent woman. But a lot of these movies, what they do is it gives women a false sense of empowerment. And you see a lot of this now in our society, particularly in the Black American woman.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Black American women, and I've seen this, have bucked up on many men. And then when they get ragdolled, then it's, oh, well, you can't do this. You can't hit a female. I'm going to get my brother. I'm going to, no, well, ma'am, maybe you shouldn't have watched this Kunta Kinte movie and thinking that you can do what these women are doing in this magical movie. Let me tell you guys something real quick. When I was a kid, my good sir, my cousin, who is half Asian, and I don't say this a lot, he was in karate. He's watching all the kung fu movies. He's seeing all of these ancient movies, these magical movies about ancient Asian people doing all these incredible feats. He was about 13 years old and he tried to fight and got mollywopped because he is under the impression, because he is half Asian, that he can fight, and that was the stereotype. But we all know that the average Asian can't fight for shit. We all know that the average Asian weighs 110 pounds, soaking wet. We all know that the average Asian will get ragdolled in a fight. But the problem is that Hollywood has a way of indoctrinating people into believing certain things. And those were one of the things back in the day that a lot of people thought that, oh, Asians can fight. No, they can't. It's just that, I mean, I'm not saying they can't fight, but they don't have magical powers where they can Bruce Lee, Kung Fu, Liu Kang kick you like in Mortal Kombat. There's no such things as that. Those people are just human beings like me and you. So the same thing with women, my good sir. And what I am saying, sir, is that this movie is going to have a lot of women fucked up. You know, the media is very, very terrifying. It's terrifying because it has a major influence on the mind. And the fact of the matter is that you have to realize that a lot of these movies, TV shows, are just fantastical stories. Even the so-called based on a true story, it's all fantastical stories, imagination. And Mariam, when I was a kid, sir, and I've told you guys this plenty of times, I was in love with Star Trek. I honestly thought that there were human beings traveling the stars at faster than light speed. And then when the show went off, I said, wow, it's just a show. That's how great those shows were to me, where I thought that, damn, there's really a Captain Picard, a Captain Kirk, a Worf. But see, I was 7 years old. And Mariam, let me tell you something, sir, and I don't want to ball hog the mic. I had to be about 9 years old, and this is when wrestling was on TV, my good sir, on Sundays. Do you remember those days? My mom would force us to go to church. But this one day, my mom, I don't know why she didn't put up a fight, but my dad said we could stay home. My dad didn't go to church. I'm watching wrestling. It was me and my brother. And Mariam, I had to be about 7 or 8 years old.
Right.
My dad came into that room, and you know what he said, sir. He said the famous words that most dads say. You know wrestling is fake. I wanted to fight this nigga for that. I wanted to power drive this nigga for saying that. I was almost in tears. I was like, Dad, no, that's that. Me and my brother arguing with my dad. I thought wrestling was so real. And then when I got a little bit older, I realized, damn, he was right. That is the power of the media. And unfortunately, so many people still believe in wrestling. My drift. You catch my drift, my good sir. So, just like this silly movie, with all these women who are doing triple backflips and somehow overpowering men, read the real account of these women. The men have been slaughtered in that particular tribal group. And the women were the primary population. But the women still got defeated, of course. Go into the movie and watch it for what it is, a science fiction. Go ahead, sir. I don't want to ball.
No, good deal. Good deal. No, I appreciate when stuff like that happens. We have intelligent people to give their analysis on things. Like the whole panel has been awesome all the way up to this point when it comes to this movie. And I'm glad the majority of people that have, now I'm not just gonna say majority, but I haven't had no pushback for anybody saying, oh man, you shouldn't do that, or blah, 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 man. Come on, man. Don't be hating on the movie. It's like, no, if they actually just, like you said, make the movie and make it, let us go watch. But don't try to sit there and coerce nobody or shame nobody or white guilt nobody or black guilt nobody into going to see the movie. Johnny Reb, how you doing?
Doing fine. It'd be almost like if you made a movie about how the Aztecs defeated the conquistadors. What they don't know is the conquistadors, they had guns, and they also recruited all the tribes that the Aztecs had defeated to go fight with the Aztecs, and they were the trump card basically to take out the strongest warriors. So, I mean, it'd be like making the Aztecs go and be able to overcome the conquistadors. It's just nonfiction.
Now, you a white guy, I take it.
Yeah,
Johnny?
I have to go by that. Yes.
Okay, I got you. So what I'm going to ask you is that are you married or have a girlfriend?
No, I don't.
Not the time, but you've had one before though, right? A girlfriend.
Nothing steady. Nothing really steady.
Okay, well, I just because my question. I was going to ask you, whoever you know that might be a female. I'm pretty sure they've seen the movie Wonder Woman. Did they come out saying all of a sudden I'm about to be this empowered white woman, strong and all my femininity, and I'm going to go out there and crush men? Did you have any white people that went out and did that after they saw Wonder Woman? White women in particular?
No, because it was well understood that they were a alien race, basically, that were stronger and better looking and all that kind of stuff than normal women. They weren't seen as normal women.
The reason why I'm saying that is because, like what Chaotic just got done saying, a lot of people are going to take from this and somehow think that that's going to actually be some type of move to empower particularly black women, in some kind of way. So did you see the video that I played with Viola Davis saying, you know, if you don't go and see this movie, you're pretty much saying that black people shouldn't be, black women particularly shouldn't be the lead in box offices?
Yeah, I saw the clip. I don't agree with it. I mean, there have been plenty of movies with black women leads that are awesome because the story is awesome, and they're not trying to be something that they're not. Like, you know, warriors with superhuman abilities, unless there's a reason for that, like a superhero that has superhuman abilities. I mean, it's kind of silly to say, oh, well, this is what you have to go believe. It's like, no.
What do you think would happen if there was a movie out that, okay, if there's a movie out, you know, let's just say take it 300. Do you saw the movie 300?
I saw the movie 300, yes.
What you think would have happened if Gerard Butler, that's his name, I think, if he'd have got up there and said, you know, if you don't go and see this movie, do you pretty much like, if he said the same thing she said, if you don't go and see this movie, you're saying that white people should not be here at the box office. Do you think they would have came out and called him a racist?
Oh, they definitely would have come out and called him a racist. I don't see how that could have been anything that he would say, because everybody knew the story already.
Right.
Part of history.
Right. And in this case, do you think that it should go the same way? Do you think that by Viola Davis saying what she said, do you think that they should look at her the same way? Like, now look, that's on some racist stuff right there, saying if you don't go and see this movie, you're pretty much saying that black women shouldn't be leading the box office. How do you think that make white people feel?
Well, I mean, they probably should, feel something about it, but I'm sure everybody's just going to look at it and say, oh, that's just what they do.
All right, Lacey, Viola Davis, if she was to say to you, hey, Miss Lacey, I just made a movie called The Woman King. If you don't go see this movie, Lacey, you're saying that black women shouldn't lead the box office. What would you say, Lacey?
Bullshit. Seriously, if the movie's good, people will go and see it.
Exactly.
You know, she's comparing it to blockbuster movies. I think she's just thinking she wants it to be that, and I don't know that it will be. I don't hear anybody talking about it.
Right. And see, what I don't like about it too as well is that there is millions and millions of people who were already reading comic books about Iron Man, about Spider-Man, about Black Panther, about Superman, about Batman, Aquaman. We've already been fans of these as kids. And then to make a movie. Go ahead, Chaotic.
I apologize. I don't like cutting people off. You are absolutely right, MRM. What Viola Davis does not understand is that a lot of these movies have expanded universes, have fan fictions that go back a century, 50 years. She's comparing, let's say, for example, her movie to Marvel. Marvel has an expanded universe of comic books, stories that go, all the types of stories that go into one character. She's talking about thousands upon thousands upon thousands of different comic books, regular novels. We already know movies. What is she talking about? She doesn't understand that. And I want to say this, MRM, and my brother says this all the time, and he's married to a white woman. So, you already catch where he's going with this. He says this all the time. Black Americans, not all Black Americans live in a different reality than other groups of people in this country. And it's really fascinating. Like, the laws don't apply to us. And the fact is that Viola Davis is operating on that right now at that very moment. The laws don't apply to her. So she doesn't give a damn about the fact that Marvel has been out for 60 years and it has comic books, cards, all types of memorabilia, merchandise, etc. She doesn't care about that because she's so entitled, because white liberals and the media has empowered Black people to the point where everything has to come to us easy. We're beyond reproach. So it doesn't make any sense to her. That's why she would say something ridiculous comparing that shitty movie to Iron Man. Is she crazy? Does she not know that children grew up to become adults watching that shit? Does she not know that people have been watching Iron Man for 50 years?
Yes.
And my brother is absolutely right. Black people, I hate to say this, man. My God, I hate to say this. Live in a different reality than everybody else in this country at times. And it's absolutely terrifying that her being almost 60 years old, she has this mind frame that you better come watch my movie. If you don't, you a racist. You better
Yes.
come watch it. You a misogynist. You better come watch it. You this. And that's absolutely terrifying that this woman believes that. Like, it's weird to me.
Well,
But
you saw the Wakanda Forever, where you had the TikTokers getting on there saying you better go if you want to go see this movie, you go buy a ticket and give it to a black family, and then you guard the doors. That was wild.
Did you hear about that, Chaotic?
I heard about it. And
Did you, Roscoe? Okay, I'll let you guys speak on this once I said what she got on there. She said white people on the opening week or the opening week and possibly the first 2 weeks that when Wakanda Forever comes out, Black Panther 2, she told white people don't go and see the movie. She pretty much said, like, be respectful. She said, matter of fact, if you go see the movie and you're trying to go see it, she said, buy the tickets. She said, but wait, don't go see the movie. If black people show up to see the movie, give the tickets to the black people and y'all stand guard white people outside of the theater to make sure no harm come to the black people that's going in there to see Wakanda Forever. This is a black girl saying it, and some other black TikTokers get on there saying that.
That sounds like the guy running for governor here in Florida, Charlie Crist.
Oh, Jesus.
If you voted for Ron DeSantis, I don't want your vote. What's the purpose in telling white people not to go see a movie? And we have to guard them?
And that's what she said. She said, if you buy the ticket and the black people show up, give the ticket to the black family, and then white people stand outside the theater, stand guard to make sure no other people will come in there and try to disrupt the black people's kumbaya, I guess. Even if it's other white people that's try to say, hey, I'm going to go in there and see the movie, then you keep those white people from going in there and let those black Negroes sit in there and watch their history.
If they're that worried about it, they should wait for it to come out on DVD or cable.
Exactly. Now,
and watch it at the house. I mean, if
what
they're
I
that
thought,
worried about people walking in there and starting crap during a movie, which that's happened before, I believe, just don't go. Right. I'm not going to buy my ticket and give it to somebody else. Hell, that's $20.
Yes, exactly. Now, I said this too, and you guys can speak on this too. I said, if I, because most the movie was directed by the same director, black guy. If me being a businessman, if I made this movie Wakanda Forever, the second one, if I hear that there's a trend going around of black people telling white people don't go see my movie, knowing that white people are going to be the biggest purchasers of going to see my movie, you telling them not to come? I'm going to say, no, I don't want none of y'all black folks coming to see it because this chick's saying you about to mess up my business. You're telling people not to come and see my movie. You are messing up my business because I guarantee you, let's just say, we 12, 13% of the population, not all black people are into Marvel movies and comic books like that. So that's going to be a very small percentage of black people going to see it anyway, but to tell white people don't go see the first 2 weeks, that's when movies make their most monies with those first 2 or 3 weeks. And you're telling the majority of people who most likely is the biggest fan base of Marvel, you're going to tell them not to go and see the movie. No.
And statistically, they're more in danger from each other than anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. Who you gonna protect? Who you gonna protect the black people from? Other black people? I like to see that happen.
All right, are we there? Are we there yet?
You're there. Right. You're here, Uncle Tom.
Oh wow, what's going on?
What's going on, man?
Man, I was on my live right now, and I was like, well, hell, let me join his too. Everybody's streaming at the same time.
Holy smokes!
And we're talking about the same thing. I was gonna do it because I did a whole bunch of background into the same thing.
Wow, no kid.
Yeah, literally. I've been watching this for like the last, I want to say about a month or so, and I was gonna go at it. Then I was just like, you know what? It's not really up because it wasn't out then. And I was
Right.
like, you know what? Let me hold off. And then when it came out, I was like, these
Mm.
people are praising slavery really bad, and it's crazy. It's crazy how Hollywood is praising this slave culture, and then they want to say, "Oh, we need equitable everything," and it's crazy. But yeah,
I
man.
I mean, I just think it was like a kind of like a smack for them to put this movie, especially the ones that put the movie in Hollywood. They know what they're doing. But I mean, can you imagine? I'm just gonna say it because people are here to say that is. Look here, we're gonna make this movie about the very dang on tribe that actually enslaved black people, and we're having them work on plantations, and we sold these black people to other white people to make them go to the transatlantic slave trade. But we're gonna praise the movie because it has some strong black women in it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I gotta go to the live. I got a live going on right now. Salute to you, Uncle Tom. I want to say this real quick to the people in the chat and people on the panel. When I saw, obviously the Rocky movies were old by the time I was a kid. But when I watched the Rocky movies, I swore on everything that after that movie was over, I knew how to box, especially after Rocky 4. I swore that I could box. I went to school, man. We used to get we used to take socks to school and put tissue in the socks. Like, come on, man, let's box. And I can only imagine how ridiculous we look to an adult watching us. That's what I have to say to people. It's the equivalent of that. It's the equivalent of watching a movie and almost having this childlike, oh, I could do this. And in actuality, you can't do it. And Viola Davis should be ashamed of herself. But salute to you guys. I got to get up out of here. I got to go to the live my channel.
You're going to be starting your own live?
No, tonight is Bob. Bob is doing the show tonight.
Yeah, Bob's on it right now.
Okay. Yeah. I still tell people that everybody that's in here right now, go check out Chaotic Truth channel. It's called Chaotic Truth. Getting ready to go live on there with Bob. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some good conversation going on over there. I might pop up over there myself and all that good stuff. But Chaotic Truth, thank you for swinging in, sir. We'll see you over there on your side.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
See you later, sir.
See you, Roscoe. Yep.
Well, Uncle Tom, you came in towards the tail end of this because I was gonna hop off and go over there, jump on Chaotic side too as well.
Well, go ahead. Like I said, I was coming over here to troll because I'm, how I do my dual PC. So I was trolling you, but nah, I seen you were on. I was like, oh, we're talking about the same thing. So I was gonna come on and say my two pieces, but you already said them, so I know you already got it good. So you're awesome.
Hey, Ty.
Yes, sir.
Ask him about the 600 versus 200 dealie.
Okay, yeah.
This guy might be on my side.
Yeah, Uncle Tom. Mm-hmm. Has 600 athletic women go against 200 athletic men.
Yes.
Nothing but fist. Who's going to win?
The men.
Almost, Roscoe.
Told you.
Roscoe said,
that's not even, listen. Okay, I'm going to put it to you like this. Our soccer, U.S. soccer women, right? Lost to a bunch of 15-year-olds. Not even seniors. They're 15. It's a difference, man. That's like, listen, I can knock out about 7 females, right? Easy. Without
I've also seen a wrestler take on like 4 female wrestlers and
at the same time.
Yeah,
I seen it too. That's crazy.
I seen that too, but there was about a $20 charge to get in, so I didn't go in anymore after once.
Hey, listen, I big up any female that wants to fight a male. It's up to you. Believe me, I will laugh. I condone. Listen, I don't condone regular violence, but if you know and it's sanctioned and you want to go up and test your strength, hey, by all means, get knocked out. Because I'm telling you, it's not going to work that much.
I really think I could just, somebody going to watch somebody steal my idea, and I'm going to say this. I really would just like to get with somebody from the MMA world or the boxing world. I really just say, look, I just want to have this one-time event. I'll take 6 months to put it together. I want to take maybe 3 men, just 3 men, but I want to take up to 100 women. And in one night, I just want them all to get in the ring. Just one woman at a time. The man, boop, knock her out. Next one, boop, let that go on. Let me just make my money off of that, and I'll quit. I just want to see it. Women that think they can take on men, like when Ronda Rousey says she thinks she can beat Floyd Mayweather. Oh, come on, can I put that together and get paid for doing that? I would love to see her get in there, and Floyd Mayweather just probably jab her once, and it's a wrap. You know, I
Well,
would
he
like to
doesn't
have an
have
event like.
brittle bone syndrome yet, but he'll be getting it pretty soon. Cause you know, after fighting for a long time, your hands and stuff started going out on you. So
Okay, he'll elbow her then. But no, I would just like to see that. Okay, Miss Lacey, any last words before we close this thing out, sis?
I don't think so, except it was nice talking to you.
Likewise, likewise, and appreciate the support. You don't have no last words?
No, I think I'm falling asleep now.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm
Sorry.
glad that we bored you. No, I'm just kidding.
It was the historian. He has the voice of a storyteller, and I got to listen to him.
Oh no, I get it. He has that ASMR
Understand.
effect on you. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming through, Lacey. And maybe next time I go live again, we'll catch you on here again, sis.
all right,
Have a good
Modern. I'm
night.
gonna be up out here as well. I just
All right,
wanted to
sir.
jump on and say what's up. But hey, you're welcome on my channel anytime. You know it.
Absolutely.
sure.
If I was not live, I'd have popped up over there to troll you too.
All right, brother. I'm going back to mine. You have a good one.
All right.
Uncle
Catch
Tom,
you later.
Uncle Tom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is your name of your channel?
It's the Porch Session. DAPORCHSESSION, but it's a space in between all three letters. I mean, all three words.
The Porch Session is what his channel is called. The Porch Session, everybody.
I'll find it.
I
looked for you the other night and I couldn't find it. So
okay.
But I was looking for Uncle Tom.
Well, I do.
Right.
Okay. So I've been putting shorts on my Uncle Tom page. I really don't put a lot on there, but I do it mostly on the Porch Session, though.
Okay.
For sure.
Again, his channel is called The Porch Session, ladies and gentlemen.
Alex?
The Porch Session. All right, we'll see you over there then.
What's
sir.
up? What's up, Alex? All right, for sure.
Roscoe.
Ty, it was nice talking to you. Nice listening to you.
Oh, likewise, Johnny Reb. I wish we can. I don't know what time you came in, but next time you come in early, maybe to be we'll be able to go into a lot more detail because it's kind of good getting into on these chats early, versus coming in a little later and it's kind of like all over the place. But yeah, appreciate you stopping by though, man.
Well, I was listening, but I was heading home from work and all that kind of stuff to deal with that. So.
Oh, okay. No, you did right. I'd rather have you be safe than okay. I got you. Well, hopefully we'll catch you next time I go live again, then, sir.
Yep. Good talking to you.
Likewise. Have a good one. Roscoe, sir.
Ty, as always, it's been a pleasure to be on here, and I appreciate you letting me on here and having this panel so a bunch of us can get together and debate different ideas and maybe new ideas and stuff that we haven't thought about before and use it to improve our life and everything.
Yes.
Again, big shout out to chat, mods and all like that. Great chat tonight. I've been glancing in on that. Sorry, guys, but I got to wear the hat. I mean, we're talking about a major sunburn if I don't have a hat on, even inside under a light.
We can't have you now. You won't be Roscoe without that hat on. It'd be too. It won't be the same. It's just like when I cut my hair, people were like, "Oh man, dude, you look like a little kid now. You already look like a kid, but now I'm like, okay, I'll grow the hair back."
Yeah. All righty. Well, again, I appreciate it. And with your permission, I think on the bottom of this one, I'm going to take through in a request for you to put into the bingo ball, maybe. Might be a good theme song for you. Fight Inside of Me by Merle Haggard.
Fight Beside Me?
The Fighting Side of Me. By Merle Haggard.
By who?
Merle Haggard.
Haggard?
Haggard, Haggard.
All right. Got it written down, sir.
It's called The Fighting Side of Me. You might like it.
Okay.
But again, that's why I give it to you, so I can find out if you do.
All right. Appreciate that. I got
it. Right. Okay, buddy. I'll talk to you later, and you have a great evening.
You do the same, sir.
We'll see you next time.
Likewise. All right, folks. Appreciate all my folks that came in here and chatted with me tonight and jumped on the panel. Hopefully next time some of you guys will be able to get in here now. Next time around when I do this. So y'all know how I close all my things out here. I'm Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man, and I hope and pray every last one of you guys have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, I hope and pray every last one of you guys are in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.